catfish. Okay, that one's hooked up. Here we go. Here we go. Boy, he's making a run. Y'all, I hope you're ready to catch some fish, because I sure as heck am, and we about to drop some baits down right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get baited up while I tell you kind of where we're at and what we're doing today. I've got us a gizzard shad laid out here. It's about I don't know, what do you think? 8 inches, 8 to 10 inch range, a gizzard shad. I've got some new shears here I'm gonna try to use on this thing instead of using a knife. We'll see how these work out. I can already see the crap pulling out of this shad, man. These things are the poopinest fish in the history of the world. And these scissors ain't worth a crap. Or I'm left-handed, that's part of the problem. But anyway, we're gonna drop these baits down. We're gonna do a head and a chunk of gizzard shad here. That's the only type of bait I have today, and quite honestly, I don't have very many of them. But we're gonna make do with what we got. Well, I can't even cut them dang fins with these scissors, buddy. These things brand new. Scissors don't like left-handed people, folks. But nevertheless, we got it. We got it done. We're gonna use a knife on the next bait. I've already had it with these scissors. If it wasn't littering, I'd just throw them in the water right here and now. But I'm gonna do some light tackle catfishing today. The fish we're going after ain't gonna be light tackle size. They're gonna be big fish, hopefully some big fish in here. But we're gonna use lighter tackle, lighter rods, lighter line, all that to try to catch them. So we got our piece of shad. This is a number 1 size shiner hook, 15-pound fluorocarbon, and 15-pound braid for the main line on a ugly stick inshore rod here. So these are significantly lighter than what I do on my kind of heavier tackle setups. But I'm gonna drop this straight down to the bottom. We're 42 feet deep here inside of a creek, and I'm fishing here to try to hide from the wind. It is up and it is going to be worse throughout the afternoon, and the direction it's blowing, we're in a good spot here as far as hiding from it, because the bank behind us here, the creek bank, is going to block us from getting really in the brunt of it. So let's put us a gizzard shad head on this side. Same hooks, line, rod, reel, everything. Everything's the exact same on this side. But we're going to just suspend these baits right off bottom. So 42 feet deep, they're going to be down there 40 feet deep, give or take. And as fish swim in and out of this creek today, looking for food, looking for shad, they're going to hopefully come across our baits and be able to lock in on the scent and come get them. There's no flow in this creek at all. It's kind of, I'm on the lower end of this reservoir, so it's lake-like conditions. Now the wind, it may move our scent a little bit as we've dropped baits down. Some of that blood, the oils and stuff from the cut bait is going to disperse as it falls through the water column, and then the wind moving the water will disperse it around in this area. But what we're really counting on today is fish kind of swimming along the bottom, working in and out of this creek here toward the main channel, and just going to come through our baits when they do. I have got us set up here. I'll show you on, I don't know if you can see it or not, my screen's all dirty. I got literal mud right here. It gets nasty where I throw the cast net. But I've got us in the old creek channel. We're off the ledge here. You can see them contour lines real close together. That's behind us over here. And that comes off at a pretty steep angle down here to where we're at. And then it kind of, you've got the old creek channel, and then it's kind of a real gradual section over here, and then it goes up toward the bank once you get over there closer to the other side. But this area through here, it's kind of wide, it's kind of flat, and we're just kind of off this break line in the old creek channel here. Again, 42 feet. Water temps 47 degrees today. So we're just gonna put in some time here. I brought another rod with me back here on this side, a dragging setup, because when I left the house today, the wind wasn't blowing. And I'm like, man, is the forecast right or is it not? You know, because if it's not going to blow today, I wasn't necessarily going to do this. But once I got down here, got the kayak unloaded, I'm like, okay, forecast looks to be correct. It was just a little late getting started. But yeah, we're just going to put in some time here, folks. I'm going to put y'all in the chest. We're going to sit out here, leave this camera rolling, and you're going to see everything from right now when we've dropped baits down to whenever we roll out of here today, which is probably going to be in about 3 hours or so. It's, let's see, 2:17 right now. I think it gets dark 5:30, 5:45. And so I'd like to be off the water before dark. So I'll need to leave here 5-ish, 5:15, start packing up and heading back. So we got about 3 hours or so to try to bust some fish and hopefully bust us a big one. I did fish this creek recently, kind of same situation where we had a real windy forecast, and I caught a bunch of fish in here, man. Got some decent fish, got a bunch of them, and so I said, well, what, there's clearly some fish in this area. I know there's bait, usually in the wintertime, these creeks on the lower ends of the reservoirs, all up and down Tennessee River, the lower end creeks, especially the larger creeks, will just be packed full of bait fish, packed full of shad. Now, I didn't, you know, when I launched on the other side of the channel to come over here, so I didn't run all the way back in this creek. It's I mean, you can probably go back up in here another mile or so before you hit real shallow water. Plus, there's a little pocket over here, another one on down there. So I did not go running back up through here with electronics, looking for bait fish, trying to see where everything's at. When I'm setting up on these creeks, most of the time, what I'm going to do, unless I'm just actively trolling through the creek, and sometimes I'll do that. I'll either suspend baits while trolling or drag baits and just either start at the entrance and work my way back or start at the back of the creek and work my way out. But when I'm anchor fishing, I don't usually go looking for fish. I set up in places that they're going to work through. And when you got some time to put in, now our time today is going to be a shorter trip here, 3 hours or so. But any fish that do work through from the main channel in here, they pretty much got to come through us, right? Like they're coming out of the channel and they're either going to go up on this point over here or they're going to go on into the creek and just kind of, usually they're just going to kind of follow the edges on back looking for bait fish. And so we're gonna hopefully have some of them swim through us today. I enjoy this style of fishing a lot. I like setting up on places that fish are going to work through. It's kind of a way to let the fish come to you instead of you having to go and take your baits to the fish. And, you know, I was on a good bite the other, well, I won't say it was a good bite the other day. My last video, I got 2 really nice fish, and a few others there. So, I mean, it wasn't a real productive day numbers-wise, but I got some good quality, and I got them dragging out in the main channel. And so I kind of wanted to do that today, but I knew the wind was going to be, if it was as high a wind as what the forecast called for, I was going to have a hard time controlling my speed out there. And there goes barge over on the other side of the channel. And you kind of got to pick your battles when you kayak fishing, especially when I'm in my Hobie Lynx, which I am today. This kayak is real susceptible to the wind. I love it. It's a really fun platform to catch fish off of. Honestly, of all the kayaks I've had through the years, and I've had a bunch now, this is my favorite to catch fish off of. With that said, it's not necessarily the easiest platform to catch fish off of in kind of windy conditions. It really gets blown around a lot. And so you kind of got to pick your battles on days where you're going to use this in areas that are kind of open water areas where you're more susceptible to the wind. Now, doing like we're doing today and kind of, tucking ourselves inside this creek channel here where we're not exposed to the full brunt of the wind, well, this kayak's fine for this. I mean, I've got us anchored down. I've got a dumbbell for an anchor, and it's just tied off here to this little boat cleat here. I've got literally zip tied to the tie down spot here. But, this kayak's fine for that, but you just got to kind of pick your battles. The bigger the kayak you have, the rougher the water conditions you can go into and stuff. And different kayaks are built for different scenarios, really. But the more I have fished off of this, the more I just want to do it all the time. And so you've been seeing me in this kayak more. You're going to be seeing more of it going forward in the future. And I'm just still trying to kind of feel my way out in it, trying to figure out what I can do, when I can do it. I've had to adapt my fishing style a little bit to it to more accommodate the kayak and what its limitations are. Historically, I've always made whatever kayak I was in kind of adapt to me and what I wanted to do. And most kayaks, I've been able to do that. Some are more challenging to rig out than others, depending on the hull design and what kind of internal access you have to be able to reach the places you need to mount rod holders and fish finders and things like that. But with this setup and the fact that there is no internal access and you can't drill into the hull, I kind of had to just use what was readily available on the kayak already, meaning just the gear tracks that are already in place, and little plastic flimsy ones. And so because of that, I've kind of had to adapt my fishing style to accommodate that. And honestly, that's been a good thing, because it's got me into this light tackle catfishing like we're doing here today. Something I really wouldn't, I've done a little bit of it in the past, but my fear was always I'm going to hook a 100-pound class fish on 10, 15-pound test. I'm going to break my line, and that's going to be my once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And so I've always kind of talked myself out of the light tackle, but when I've wanted to go catfishing on this thing, having the lighter action rods and looser drag and stuff like that, it's allowed me to catfish out of this, right? And so once I started doing it, I kind of got into it. And so I've done a lot of the light tackle catfishing over the last few months. And as I've caught more fish doing it and caught some big fish doing the light tackle stuff, it's kind of boosted my confidence. And don't get me wrong, I do still have a fear that someday we're going to hook into that 100-pounder, and it's going to happen on one of these light tackle rods, and I'm going to have a heartbreak from it. But the fear of losing big fish, breaking me off on the lighter line, or straightening out the thinner wire hooks, as I've done this more, I'm realizing that fear is just fear. It's not really rooted in reality. I have lost some fish. I haven't straightened out any of these hooks, but I have broke off and whatnot. But it ain't happening often. So from that aspect, I'm happy that I've kind of adapted my style to accommodate the kayak, because it's opened up this whole new door for me here with the light tackle stuff, and I've really enjoyed it, and going to keep doing it. The other thing that's I won't say it's been a change, but kind of another adaptation, if you will, is when I'm dragging, and I'm dragging on this kayak, I can only do one rod. On my other kayaks, well, specifically when I've had the bow mount motor with the GPS functions, I drag 2 rods. Now, I know a lot of the fellas I fish the tournaments against, they're running 8 and 10 rods off their kayaks with the bow mount motors because they're pulling planer boards and stuff. Well, I don't really like planer boards. I think if a day ever comes that I need planer boards to catch a catfish, I'd just soon quit catfishing. That's how I feel about the planer board, y'all. It's just not fun. It's not fun. The extra hassle of setting everything up. It's not fun reeling in the fish because you got to let out a gazillion yards of line when you're dragging. Then you put your planer board on, let out more line to get your boards away from your kayak or boat or whatever and be able to spread them out. And so when a fish does hit, even if it's a big fish, hell, you gotta fight the board until you get it off the line. Then you've got so much line out. I mean, it's not as intense of a fight as what you would get on a shorter line. So anyway, I've never liked the planer boards. I've tried them. They're an effective tool, very effective in certain situations, especially if you're fishing flats, if you're back in these creek channels like we are today. I mean, you can make a compelling argument for the planer boards and their effectiveness. And people have proven it. A lot of tournaments have been won. A lot of big fish caught with planer boards. It's just not for me. So what I have done when I've dragged baits is use the bow mount motor on my other kayak and pull 2 lines. And I'll try to focus on the break line. Like whatever I'm fishing there, I'll find a break line, whether it's kind of at the top before it drops off of a ledge or kind of down at the bottom of a ledge. Like we're setting up here today, I just work along the contours, just running them 2 baits. And I've been real successful doing that through the years. I've caught some big fish. I've won some tournaments I've won tournaments against guys running the planer boards and all the extra rods. So it's really more about bait placement than it is number of baits oftentimes. But with the bow mount motor on my other kayak there, it does give me the option of running 2 rods. Because when you hook up with a fish, it starts pulling back, obviously, because it's behind you. The kayak wants to spin naturally toward the resistance. You pulling in the fish, you're pulling the kayak toward the fish. With the bow mount motor, it keeps driving for you. So not only does the kayak not get spun, but your other bait can keep moving through the water as you're fighting the fish in the hand. Well, with this kayak, obviously there's no bow mount motor, no way to mount one at all, even if I did want one on here. So whether I'm pedaling or using that I got one of them little cheapo Chinese motors that goes down here in the pedal slot. It's got forward and reverse, like it's no GPS functions whatsoever. So when a fish hits and you start pulling the kayak back toward the fish, well, if you got a second line out, you getting all wrapped up in it. Like it just ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Like it ain't gonna end well for you. You're gonna be in a tangled mess when it's all said and done. And it ain't just your lines gonna be tangled, it's gonna be you tangled up in the lines. So I've just been fishing 1 rod when I'm dragging in this kayak. And there are some, I mean, obviously for a regular fishing trip, no big deal. Because I don't go out needing to catch X number of fish or, a certain size fish. I don't care on a regular trip. I'm just going out to have fun, hopefully get some bites. But if I was to use this kayak in a tournament, and I'm strongly considering it, I'm maybe it's my ego, maybe it's stupidity, I don't know. But I am curious as to whether or not I could be competitive on the tournament scene fishing out of this platform. I don't know. And it really comes down to the efficiency of it. When I'm in my other kayak, and let's say I'm dragging, yes, I'm running only one more rod, but I'm using a head bait and a chunk, or I'm using 2 different kinds of baits. And that allows me to kind of dial in what those fish are going to be wanting on that particular day. And like I mentioned before, when I'm reeling in one fish, I still have another bait down there pulling along. And so oftentimes when you pull through a fish, it'll have friends with it. It'll be in a school. And so when you've only got one rod out, you miss an opportunity on the other bite there when you come through a school, but you also, for tournament purposes, I am going to have to land the fish, get my pictures because our tournaments, our kayak catfishing tournaments, they're scored by length. So we have a measuring board that we would lay out, put the fish on it with a tournament identifier card, take a picture with the date, time, and GPS stamp, and then submit that to a live leaderboard. So I'm going to have to do all of that, get the kayak kind of repositioned and going the way I want it to go again, and then put out another bait. So there's going to be some downtime every time I catch some fish. So it's not going to be the most efficient way to compete in a tournament. So I think if I do it, and I probably am going to try it just to get it out of my system, to see if I can, but I'm probably just going to, on those tournament days, swing for the fences, man. Just drag, take my one rod. If I am dragging on that particular day, but I do tend to, in tournaments, it seems like I tend to move more than I do on a regular trip. Because on a regular trip, you just take today, for instance. We're anchored down here, right? And I'm going to spend 3 hours or so anchored down. If we get bit today, awesome. I know fish are going to work through here. They're going to work in and out of this creek. They're going to swim right where our baits are at right now. Some fish will swim through here today. Now, will it happen while we're on the water? I don't know. If you're seeing this video, it happened. We got on some fish at some point throughout this. But will it happen while we're on the water today? Well, at this point in time right now, I don't know that. Nobody knows that, right? So if it don't happen, and I get skunked, well, obviously you're not going to see this video, but let's say I get skunked. Well, I'm going to go home, lick my wounds, and try it again the next day I can fish. No big deal. Well, when you're in a tournament situation, you don't really have that luxury. There's no second chance. Like, you've got the hours of the tournament, and you've got to go out there and get however many bites you need that particular day. Our tournaments are usually 3 fish limit. Sandusky Bay's 5 fish limit when we go there. But you got to get those number of bites, right? And so you've got to adapt to the day. And there are times, I've won some tournaments anchor fishing. But most of the time, I'm going to get out there and cover some water. So if I do it, and I've got one rod, and I know going into it, it's going to be an inefficient process because of the time it's going to take for me to land a fish, picture it, release it, get reset, rebaited, all that. It's probably best if I just try to swing for the fences, put on big baits, probably big head baits of whatever type of bait fish I have on that particular event, and just go for it. Now, when you put on big baits like that, you're going to limit the number of bites, certainly, but that would give me limiting the number of small fish you're going to catch from the size of the bait. It's going to allow you to keep your bait in the water longer. Because, if you're running baits that, say, the normal dink size can eat, and those dinks probably aren't going to win you a tournament. I mean, sure, there's times. I mean, I caught 3 dinks in our Kentucky tournament a couple years ago on the Ohio River there up Owensboro. I got second place, and they were small dinks, but nobody was catching anything that day. So, hold on. We had a little something happening here. Well, that's an interesting bite right there. He just kind of, maybe he's gone now. He kind of tugged on it a little bit there, didn't he? It was kind of acting like a flathead bite. Real subtle, didn't feel anything, just kind of wavering. He's back on it now. Them shiner hooks, we can set the hook, but I want to make sure he's got it before I try to put a hole through his jaw. Just tugged on it a couple times. But anyway, my point with all that is, it's like, if you know you're going to be inefficient going into the day, then the most efficient thing I could do would be to try to limit the number of small fish that I could possibly catch and just go after big fish exclusively. Or, doing that by running big baits. Oftentimes you'll catch big fish on small baits. And you can test that when you're running multiple rods. And when you've got multiple rods, it's not a big deal to catch small fish, unless you're just short on bait. But I'll probably, assuming I try it, and I probably will, I think that fish may be back after that bait over there. It looks like my line is that kind of, maybe I'm imagining it. I thought my line kind of went out a little bit, but maybe not. So anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. Our first tournament's a couple months away. I've got some time to play in this kayak some more, catfishing, try to drag some baits some more, try to get a process down, try to get my routine down, if you will, as far as landing fish. I'll probably, ahead of the first tournament, assuming I would fish it and take this kayak, it's all weather dependent, of course. If it's miserable cold and pouring rain and all that, I ain't gonna fool with going, but you get what I mean. Like if things are lining up for me to go, then I would like to, in advance of that, get some time, bring out the measuring board on random trips and practice the process of getting the fish landed, photographed, and all that on this. Because it's one of those things, like, I've caught a bunch of fish in this kayak now. But when you're just fishing regular trips, like, I'm not in any rush. I'm just taking my time. I get the fish landed. I'm, of course, doing these videos. I'm talking to you. We're just fishing. We're just fun fishing. But on tournament day, you got to be a little bit more. You got to get it going. You don't have time to dilly-dally. So, and it just goes back to efficiency. Like, the more efficient you can be on an inefficient platform, and all kayaks are inefficient compared to a boat. Like, it's just the nature of the beast. But this particular platform, more so than some of the others I have fished off of. But boy, it's just so much fun to catch fish on this thing. The way it spins, I mean, everything about this kayak that I don't like about it when the wind's blowing 100 miles an hour is exactly what I do like about it when I hook into a big fish and I get towed all over creation and spun every which way. Like, it's just fun. So I want to do more of it. I want to fish out of this more. And it would be pretty awesome if I could be competitive in tournaments in this thing. It would be, if I was to win a tournament in this kayak, I don't care what event it was at, it would be my favorite tournament accomplishment, let's just say. And I'm, you know, the last few years, I mean, I've been fortunate. I've won a few tournaments. Probably right now, if you ask me what tournament I'm most proud of, I would say number one for sure would be a Louisiana tournament. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Nope. He tugged on it hard and let it go. Let me just make sure our bait's still on there. Still on there. Hook good, looks good. He just apparently didn't bite the whole bait. Didn't get the whole bait and the hook. It don't take a big fish to really bend these rods over, so it can be tough when you see a rod just get doubled over. It don't necessarily mean it's a big fish with these particular rods. But no, anyway, if you ask me, like, what tournament I'm most proud of, I would say Louisiana, because I went down there with zero experience on the Mississippi River. I completely struck out on all the places I tried to put in. So I took my pedal kayak, or my other pedal kayak, my Old Town Big Water, and I hauled it in the back of the truck. Didn't take my big kayak, my Hobie Pro Angler with the trailer and all that, because I had marked a bunch of spots on Google Earth that I thought I could launch the kayak in. Because down there on the Mississippi River, at least on the Louisiana part, there's very limited access. Like most of it up and down the riverbanks, both sides, is just industrial. It's private property. So there's very few places you can put in at. And our tournament boundaries were pretty much the whole state of Louisiana. And so I had marked a bunch of spots on Google Earth that I thought I could launch into. Well, getting down there and exploring a little bit, once I got down there, I was like, man, I can't use any of these spots. Like they were all private property, or no trespassing signs, or places where, you know, there's a huge drop off on the bank that you couldn't really tell on Google Earth. And so I ended up not being able to use those spots. But I got out there and I was able to make it work. And I was able to catch bait. And I won the tournament in my pedal kayak on the Mississippi River against all these other guys running their motors and 10 rods and all that. So I took a lot of pride in that victory compared to other wins that I've had where I was in my bigger kayak and had the motor and gadgets and all that. Look, it don't pay anymore winning a tournament in a kayak that don't have all the bells and whistles, but it's just more satisfying. It's hard to explain. Most people probably wouldn't get it, but just from a personal achievement, personal satisfaction, I take more pride in that win versus any of the other tournaments that I've won. And so if I could somehow win a tournament on this kayak, just a glorified paddleboard, you talk about, I mean, that would be the bee's knees, man. So I've been conflicted on it. On one hand, I want to do it just to see if I can, just to prove to myself that I can do it, that I can be competitive. On the other hand, there's the frugal part of me, right? I'm cheap. Like I mean, yeah, you wouldn't know it by me buying kayak stuff, but these are business expenses when you get right down to it. Me doing this YouTube crap for a living, like this is business expenses. That's how I justify it in my mind anyway. But I'm kind of cheap just in regular life. And so when I go to a tournament and I am shelling out money for the tournament entry fee, fuel to get there and back, hotel, eating out at restaurants and stuff when you're on the road, fishing license, whatever state you're in. Like you've got all these expenses for the tournament. if I'm going to absorb all of those expenses, I want to give myself the best chance to succeed while I'm on the water. So I'm very conflicted. There's what I want to do versus what I should do. Because there is not a single event on the tournament schedule where I would be better off fishing in this kayak versus my other one with the motor. Not a single event. Like if you put me, if I could clone myself, put one of me in this kayak and one of me in my Hobie Pro Angler with the same knowledge, same skill set, same time, day, water conditions, everything. I mean, I don't know the percentage. It wouldn't be 100%. The me in this kayak would be in the right place at the right time at some point and beat the me in the Hobie Pro Angler, right? Like it would happen at some point. But all things being equal, most likely the me in the Hobie Pro Angler with the motor and gadgets and ability to fish more rods and all that, that version of me is going to beat this version of me most of the time, an overwhelming majority of the time. So it's like, with that knowledge, why the hell would I even consider taking this kayak to a tournament? But yet I'm thinking about doing it. So we'll see what shakes out. We'll see what happens. Still got a couple months here before the first tournament of the season, and that tournament's in March. And so weather in the month of March, the tournament's in Alabama, but weather in the South in March, hell, you never know what you're going to get. The wind might be 300 miles an hour and freezing cold and pouring rain. Or hell, it could be 70 degrees and sunny and spring-like. You never know what you're going to get. So who knows if I'll even go to it or what'll happen. But it is something I'm strongly considering, something I'm thinking about a lot. And every time I'm in this kayak, I enjoy it. I'm having fun with it. And not that I don't have fun in my other kayaks, but it's just different. It's hard to explain. If you've never caught fish out of this particular kayak or like a paddle board, it's just hard to explain. It feels different, man. It's just, catching fish out of a kayak's fun. You get the big takedowns. It's just, it's fun across the board, but there's a different feeling in this. Like it just, and you can see, I mean, as soon as you hop in this kayak, as soon as you get in it on the water, like you can feel the difference. I can't verbally explain the difference between this and a normal rotomolded kayak, but you can feel it when you're in it. Like you can just tell it's different. So I enjoy it more. It's more fun to me. In normal fishing trips, like we're out here today, I mean, we're just out here today hoping to have some fun. So I'm going to bring this out. The other thing too, not that it really matters, because I mean, I was going to fish out of this kayak today anyway, but my Hobie Pro Angler, I got to have a trailer to haul. It's too damn heavy, especially with the motor, batteries, all that. Like if I can't use the trailer, I ain't taking that kayak. Well, my plug for the lights, plugging it into the truck, it's messed up, it's broke. And I still ain't fixed it yet. So I got no lights on the trailer currently. So not gonna be fishing out of it until I get that situation fixed. And that's just a matter of me either taking it. It's a seven pin plug. And so my electrical skills ain't very good. I'll have to watch a video on how to wire that. Or just run it over to U-Haul and let them do it. That's probably what I'll do. Make sure it gets done right without me having to watch YouTube video and say a bunch of cuss words. My other trailer had 4-pin plug. And wiring them's real easy. I'm sure the 7-pin's real easy too. I haven't done it, so I'd have to watch some videos. See which wires go where, when you're attaching them to the plug there. But, but going forward in 2026 here, you're going to see more videos of me fishing out of this kayak, and it's kind of going to be a test year for me, really, on a couple different fronts. One we talked about there with the tournaments. Can I fish and be competitive in this kayak for tournaments? And the other thing I need to kind of figure out is, can I get the number of videos that I need in this kayak? Because, listen, having the bow mount motor, the extra rods, gadgets, stuff like that, those are tools. Help you catch more fish. More fish equals more content. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Since I went full-time on YouTube, this has been several years ago now, I've been mostly focused on doing what I had to do to get content. And last year, I kind of started to pump the brakes a little bit. And yes, I'm still trying to get content. I'm still hoping to get content when I come out on these trips. But I started putting more of an emphasis on fun first, content second. That's how it used to be. When I first started doing YouTube, and I used to say it in the videos, like, I'm a fisherman first and YouTuber second. Well, as time went on and the channel grew and I was able to quit my job as a nurse to pursue this, your mindset, it kind of has to change, right? Like, when YouTube goes from being a hobby and putting a few extra dollars in your pocket to being the financial means to pay your light bill, you kind of got to focus on paying your light bill and doing what you got to do to get content to make sure that happens. And so the last few years, really up until last year, it was all about focusing on what's going to get me content today. But now I'm at a point where I'm kind of pumped the brakes a little bit. I still need to get content. I still need to get a lot of content throughout the year. But I want to see, can I get enough content in this platform to not have to be reliant on the fancy motor and gadgets and stuff. And listen, I've got an opportunity to add that kind of stuff to this, and I've done it to an extent. A couple videos ago there, I did a bait run video in this kayak, and I had my live scope set up on there because I put it on like a modular box that I can take on and off. So I had the live scope and I had that little cheap Chinese motor on here. So I can do it. I can put stuff on here, but I just don't want to. I don't want to load it down. I want to use those things when I'm going to use them, but I don't want them just on here all the time. Like, I want to keep this platform lightweight as possible so that it's easy to transport. Because like with this thing, it's so light, I don't need a trailer. I just throw it in the back of the truck. And that makes it so much easier. Not necessarily loading and unloading. Loading launching and loading a kayak from a trailer when you can just back down a boat ramp is easy as it gets. Like, it don't get easier than that. It don't get faster than that. But pulling a trailer, you've got the challenges when you travel. I mean, the number one thing I think of right off the top of my head, when you're driving through the interstate, going through a big city, like when I go south, I got to go through Atlanta. And I don't care if you go through Atlanta or you take the bypass, it's always bumper to bumper through there. And changing lanes when you got a trailer behind you, and when you're not familiar with an area and you're like, oh crap, I got to get over. Well, it's a lot easier to do when you don't have a trailer. Another thing that's easier when you don't have a trailer as far as traveling goes is parking, hotel parking lots. Like a lot of hotels, and this is why I started staying at Comfort Inns. I don't know who designs parking lots for Comfort Inns specifically, but they clearly know that people travel with boats and trailers, because every Comfort Inn I have stayed at, and maybe they're not all like this, but all the ones I've stayed at have parking spots that you can pull through. So if you got a trailer, you can just pull in any, oh, fish. Oh, they let it go. But you can just pull through the spot and still be able to park in the parking lot. Well, a lot of these hotels, they'll have two spaces right there together, right? But they'll have like a little concrete barrier. Or you'll have single spaces down a line here and then some trees or shrubbery or whatever, and then another set of parking spaces over here. So when you stay at a hotel like that, you either have to take up 6 or 8 spaces that people can't pull into because you're having to, basically be perpendicular in the spaces instead of being able to pull through. Or if the hotel's busy and you can't do that, the spaces are full, then you got to park sometimes kind of on a side road beside the hotel or kind of behind it down by the dumpster or something. And when you got a bunch of gear on your boat or a kayak or whatever, I mean, you know how people are these days. Hell, they steal everything. It ain't good. So I like to find hotels that are places that have pull-through spots where I can park under the lights, near cameras and stuff. And it's just easier to do when you don't have a trailer. Another example of pulling a trailer being a pain in the ass is when you got to pull off, get something to eat on these road trips. I hate going in places. Unless I got to pee, I don't want to go in. Pulling through drive-thrus, though, when you got a trailer behind you, depending on the drive-thru, it ain't always possible. So, being able to avoid a trailer for my fishing trips, it's kind of nice. It's not nice when you're launching and loading. Obviously, again, that's easier with a trailer. But it is nice when for the off-the-water stuff, not having the trailer is pretty nice. So this kayak, being as lightweight as it is, 65 pounds with the seat and the pedal drive, I can, without straining myself, easily load this thing and unload it. And it too, it doesn't, because it's so lightweight, I can put it in pretty much anywhere. Like, I don't need a boat ramp per se. If I've got access, I can slide this thing in the water, I'm good. Or if it's a day where maybe it's a busy day at the boat ramp, you're fishing a weekend or there's a tournament or something, you got all these bass boats coming in. Fish. Oh, okay, that one's hooked up. Here we go. Here we go. Boy, he's making a run. Oh, buddy, this is a good one. This is a good one. Here we go. Had to wait a little while for it. But fish number one, finally. Thankfully, too, he ran out that way. So he's ran away from our anchor rope. This is on the gizzard shad head. All right. Nice run right there. Man, that's exciting. When the rod buries and that line starts stripping off, boy, that gets me. That gets me every time. It's gonna take our time here. I can feel him rolling. It's definitely a blue, which I suspect most of our fish going to be blues. It's not impossible to get a flathead this time of year. I always do get some flatheads in the winter, but not nearly as often as you do in the warmer months. He's gonna be a fun sizer here, at least by length. Well, I don't know. You might call him a larger dink. You can call him whatever you want to. He says he don't give a crap what you call him. Get him over here in the net. We got our net with us here in case we hook a whopper. Let's just get him on up in here. You old fish. Yeah. All right, man. Fish number one. It took a while. I told you, if you see in this video, we got something. I can't promise how many or how big, but we ain't posting no skunk video, folks. There we go. We got our bait back too. I'm gonna go ahead and switch that out though. What's happening here? There we go. Get that out of the way a minute. You ain't big enough for front camera time, fish. I thought you was when you first took off, but he's got some length to him, but kind of skinny. Call him a larger dink, smaller fun size, whatever. I'm gonna let them decide, fish. They can decide to call you whatever they want to. He says call him for a good time, so he said. He said he's here all week, folks. All right. Well, we got one working through here. Can we get some more? Sometimes what happens when you're fishing anchor spots like this, and what the hell have we done? I have no idea how this, there it goes. Goodness gracious, I didn't think we was gonna get the bait off the hook. But sometimes what happens is you'll get fish working through together. They'll be in a school and you'll be sitting here twiddling thumbs, nothing going on, just contemplating your life decisions that have led you to fishing a spot with no fish. And then all of a sudden, a school will move through and you'll sit there and just wear them out until they move on. And so I'm hoping that happens while we're out here today. I'm hoping that we get some fish working through and we have a time period of 20, 30 minutes, maybe more if we're lucky, where we just catch one fish after another. Well, I'll tell you, the last time I fished out here, I did one of these unedited videos. And it was like that to start the day. We just happened to be getting set up right at the time that the bite was getting going and caught several fish. So regular viewers saw that. I'm almost gonna leave that bait out. It's so damn cold. That bait will be fine. It's probably, truth be told, it's probably colder out here than it is in the cooler with the ice that bait was on. It's cold, man. We got some foul weather coming too. This weekend, it's coming week, I don't know when you're seeing this video, but this coming weekend, we've got this big weather system that's hitting apparently most of the country, apparently. It's these weather forecasters, they don't know a damn thing. They can't tell us nothing. They say here in Tennessee, or where I live in Tennessee, that we're going to get hit with something. We don't know what or how much. Like, it could be snow, it could be sleet and freezing rain and ice. It could be rain. It all depends on how the weather system moves through. They know something's going to happen. They don't know what. So we got that coming. I'd actually hoped to, I don't even know where I was going with that to put me on it. Well, I was talking about how damn cold it is out here today. But anyway, it's going to get colder when this weather system moves through. We're supposed to have highs in the 20s, I think, Saturday. So it's going to be miserable cold, and then the cold that following week too. But here's what I had initially planned on and hoped to do this week. I was going to take a little road trip. I was going to go down into Florida and fish and try to catch some catfish down there. And my plan was I was going to go out yesterday, load up on bait, leave out this morning, drive down, hopefully get there in time to fish this afternoon, fish all day tomorrow, and part of the day next day and drive back. Well, two things went wrong with that. One, yesterday I went out to get bait, and I got a few. I got some shad, but I didn't get many. It was a hard time. The water has been real clear, and one of the things I've noticed, and you can see this when you're using live scope to use it to net your shad with. In clear water situations, shad seem to be real spooky compared to how they are in muddy or dingy water. When the water's real clear, like the shad I was finding there yesterday were, the ones I finally got were about 6 feet deep. I saw some more that were deeper than that, kind of 8 to 10 foot range. But when you throw that net in the clear water, as soon as it hits the water, them shad, man, you see them. They just start scattering. And so by the time the net gets to them, they're done gone. And I even took my heavier net yesterday too, 1.5 pounds per foot, because I knew it was going to be clear water and I was going to try to get it down faster. But you could see them, man, when that net hits and you've got 8 or 10 foot for that net to sink before they get there, like, you just couldn't get them. So I finally found some in about 6 foot of water that I was able to get, but I couldn't get a lot of them. And so I was like, man, do I really want to go all the way to Florida with just the bait I've got and then have to try to find bait while I'm there? Because, I mean, I was going to have a limited time to fish down there anyway before the weather turned. So it's like, I at least want to have enough bait to fish the full time down there. So that wasn't going to be possible. The other thing was, when I watched the weather forecast last night, as we're getting closer to this winter storm coming, the timing and forecast and all is changing hour by hour, day by day. But it was real questionable exactly when all of this was going to start. Is it going to be Friday evening? Is it going to be Saturday morning? Who knows? And so I in my mind, I was kind of thinking fish part of the day down there on Friday and then drive back Friday night. Or if the fishing was real good, spend another day or spend another night and then fish Saturday morning and drive back. So it's possible I could be driving back through real icy conditions and whatnot. And so I was like, well, it's probably just best that I pump the brakes, maybe don't go on a little road trip right now. At least not that short of a road trip anyway. I am going to go back to Florida at some point for saltwater fishing. Probably in the month of February, I would say. Try to catch some more sharks while they're down there in the Everglades. But as far as a catfishing trip, probably not the best time to go down there and fish new water and have to turn around and come right back and possibly a winter storm. Everybody makes fun of the South. All you Northerners, you Yankees, y'all make fun of how us people in the South are. Can't drive in the snow and whatnot. And there's truth to that. I mean, we don't get a lot of practice driving in the snow because it just don't snow very much here. But the real issues with driving isn't the snow, it's the ice. That's the real problem. I remember I was working down in Douglasville, Georgia, back in the Snowmageddon, when Atlanta got hit with that ice storm. I can't remember what year it was, 2014 maybe? 2013 or 14, something like that. But anyway, man, everybody was talking so much crap because Atlanta, they got like an inch of snow, but it was ice. And the interstates, man, people were stuck on the side of the interstate from the wrecks, couldn't move. They were just stuck there until it thawed out. Everybody's making fun of it. Saturday Night Live done a skit about it, I remember. I can remember I was down there working. Again, I was in Douglasville, Georgia. And that's back when I was still doing a travel nursing. And I had an apartment. And it was about 2 miles away from the hospital. And I was working night shift. And I got off work that morning, went back to the apartment, slept. And by the time I woke up, the snow and the ice, it had already come down. And so I went outside and I'm like, well, I can't get my car out because the apartment was up on a hill. And I walked out and then, I'm slipping and sliding, just trying to walk down the sidewalk. Like I can't even hardly stand up to walk. Like there's no way I'm getting my car out in this. I'm not going to be able to do it. So I called work and I said, hey, I'm 2 miles away from the hospital. Is there anybody that could come and pick me up? Like sometimes when you're in that situation in your hospital, I worked ER, what they'll do is if you're close to the hospital, security will oftentimes come pick you up. And I said, if security is able, I can just walk down to the main road there off of the apartment complex and come pick me up. Well, they couldn't do it. So I ended up having to walk to work. And man, it was treacherous. In the grassy areas, it was fine. So I was trying to walk as the crow would fly through people's yards and stuff to get to work. But anytime I had to go on a sidewalk or cross a road, man, it was just treacherous. So I don't want to be driving back in that potentially this weekend if it turns out, and who the hell knows. Man, there's been so many times these weather forecasters, meteorologists they like to be called. You don't dare call them a weatherman. I've been scolded on that before on social media. But these meteorologists, they don't have a damn clue what's going to happen until it hits. So we may get a blizzard. We may get an inch of ice and all the power lines come down, or it may rain. and that'd be the extent of it. You just never know till it happens. So I don't know what's going to happen this weekend, but what I do know is I don't want to be on the roads if it's bad. Ain't worth risking your vehicle or your life to travel in it if you don't have to. So I'm just going to hang out with the wife this weekend. If her and I get snowed in, well, we'll just hang out in there and she'll read her books and I'll play some Mario Kart and watch football, and we'll just have us a weekend at home. Unless the power goes out. If we get ice, that's possible. Ice, man, it weighs everything down and bring trees down over power lines and stuff. And so I don't know what we'll do then. I guess they huddled up under blankets the whole time. My power got knocked out. We had some storms about a month ago or so, I guess. Had some real high winds. And my neighbor lives in front of me. He had a tree come down and it took out the power lines. The power lines run from the road up to his house, and there's a pole there with a transformer, and then the lines come from that pole to my house. Well, his tree fell and it took out the lines coming from the road to the pole up there by his driveway. And so we were out of power for a full day before they could get up, because there was a lot of high winds, man. There were lines down all over, and the way the tree fell, like, it only knocked out power for me and him. And so the electric company, of course, they're going to prioritize fixing the lines that are going to restore power to the most number of people first. So we had to wait. And, of course, it took out everything, the lines. And my internet line runs along the power line, too, because I got that fiber line. So it took a while. But I went down there after it happened, the next day. Happened at night. I went down there because I thought, well, I'll take a chainsaw down there and try to cut up some limbs and that tree so that the electric company, when they do show up, they can get up his driveway and get it fixed a little bit quicker. But I went down there and you got them electrical lines down. I'm like, hell, this ain't safe for me to be out here, get zapped or something. So I ended up not doing it, but they had to bring chainsaws in and clear the driveway of the trees so they could get up there and fix the lines. And they eventually got it fixed. But we were without power for a little bit. And while I was down there, I'm looking around, and my neighbor, him and I both, I've got my house, my yard, and then there's a section of woods between me and the neighbor. And there's several trees that are dead up at the top, and on mine and his property. So they're just, it ain't if they're going to fall, it's when. And so every time the wind blows real hard, or in this situation where we may get some snow and ice, have all that extra weight on there, you just got to cross your fingers and hope today ain't today that the lines come down. The trees come down on the lines, I should say. An electric company, they come out not this past fall, but the fall before, 2024. They come out and done some tree maintenance. And I told them at the time, I pointed out 2 trees when they were out there. I said, this one here, look up here at this tree. I said, the top of it's rotted out. You can see it up there. It's kind of leaning. There's woodpecker holes all in it and stuff. I said, that tree needs to go. And down there at my neighbor's, he's got like a huge oak tree. The thing's probably well over 100 years old, but there's part of the tree's alive. And part of it's dead. Like half of the upper part of the tree's dead. And huge limb, and it goes right over the top of the power line. So when it eventually falls, like, it's going to take out the lines. There's no possible way that limb could fall and not take out the power lines. And I pointed that out to the electric company when they were out there doing the line maintenance, but they didn't give a damn. They didn't care at all. They were just trimming the small stuff that was running along the lines, and the big stuff, they left it. So, ticking time bombs, man. At some point, them things are going to come down, and when they do, we're going to be without power. And if we get ice, or snow and ice, my neighbor's driveway is so steep, they're not going to be able to get up there until everything melts off. Like, they just won't be able to get their machines. Because, his driveway, everybody, in the winter when it snows, man, everybody's got the steepest driveway on the tallest hill. I get it. But my neighbor, like, he really does have a steep driveway. Like, it's steep and it's concrete or asphalt. So, like, it's going to be like, if he ain't home when it hits, like, he's going to be walking up that hill. He ain't getting his car up it. But conversely, like, the electric company ain't going to be able to get up there either. So if them lines that they just fixed get taken out again, well, we just without power until everything thaws. So we'll see what happens. We had that big snow 2 or 3 years ago. We got like, I think it's 10 or 12 inches at my house, which is rare. Like, we never get that much snow. Usually it'll snow in my area about once or twice a year. We'll get a little bit, a dusting to 2 or 3 inches, and it's gone in a day or two, which is how snow should be. Beautiful for a day, and then let's melt it and, oh, nice slow pull. Oh, this one feels bigger. That feels solid right there, man. On the gizzard shad head again. I'm just holding on, letting him pull. This is a better fish right here, buddy. This is a better one. There you go. Now he's finally going to slow a little bit. All right. It's a blue. I felt him roll just then. Oh, buddy. Gosh, I love it, man. I love it. That's why I'm so into this light tackle right now, man. You see that rod go over and they just start peeling line, and it just it gets adrenaline going. Hey, I'm sitting out here freezing cold right now. Just wishing this sun would pop out for a minute and warm things up. And boy, when that happens, you don't even care. Don't care one bit how cold you are. That's 2 fish now on the head. We had that other fish mess with the body section over there pretty soon after we got set up. But since then, the other 2 bites have come on the head. This is a good fish. I can feel him down there. He feels good. I'm going to stay on the anchor right now as long as he's over here. If he makes a run back toward the anchor, we're in trouble. It's a gamble right now. I should probably come off of it. But he's kind of just, he's right here under us right now. I really don't want him getting in that anchor rope, though. This 15-pound line, you just don't have a lot of abrasion resistance. That friction rubbing the anchor rope, you're in real trouble if it gets wrapped up in the anchor rope. And my anchor rope's literally a few feet away from this line down there. So we're playing with fire right now, folks. Hopefully my gambling with this will go better than my gambling on the football games. Because boy, I ain't done worth a crap in the NFL playoffs. Thankfully, I'm not a big-time gambler. I bet $5 here, $5 there. Okay, there he is. I see him. That's a good blue. That's a good blue right there, man. All right. Yes, sir. We definitely need the net on this one. I don't want to try to grab this one with that light line. Let's get him on in the net. One of y'all get down there and net him for me, would you? There he is. Oh, buddy, this one's going to get some front camera time here. This one's getting front camera time for sure. Look at that, buddy. Oh, that's a good fish. That is a good fish right there. I am happy with this one. Oh, man. Look how he's hooked. Look how he's hooked good, though. That small hook, he got like right up behind the tooth patch right there. Like that one wasn't coming out. There we go. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, let's do right fast. Before we hold him up for front camera time, let's just go ahead and drop this bait back down. That's what I want to do right now. I want to drop it right back down in case there's more. Sometimes these things will come through by themselves, but like I said, you'll oftentimes have a school of them come through together. So let's drop it back down and have it down there in case he does have a friend while we're holding him up. Oh, man, y'all, look at this thing. Okay. Here, let me set y'all up here. me see that screen right there. Let me take my hood off, temporarily take the hood off for picture purposes. But it's going right back on as soon as we're done with him because I'm cold. Okay. There we go. Flare your tail out there for the picture fish. He don't care nothing about a picture, does he? Nice, man. Long, skinny fish right here. Powerful fish. I swear, I think the skinny ones fight harder than the fat ones do. Man. That's fun. All right, you skinny old thing. I should have given you that gizzard shad head to eat because you need it. You need the calories, buddy. All right. We'll see you. Here you go. Yes, y'all, I'm going to fist pump that one for sure. That was fun. I want some more fish like that today. All right. Let's get you all back here in the chest. Get my hood back up over my head. Protect my ears up in here because they cold. All right. Well, now that we resettled, let's, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take another shad. I'm going to put a fresh head on that other rod there, and we're going to switch out this bait too because it's been, I don't know, since we started. So it's time. Yeah, let's take that head. And this chunk over here is bigger, so let's take it too. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. These scissors here ain't worth a damn. I'm gonna take these pliers. I need me some left-handed scissors, what I need. I don't know why scissors, I don't know why scissors, like a right-handed person can use scissors just fine. A left-hander like me, man, you just can't, they won't cut. I don't get it. All right, man. Well, I'm feeling a lot more optimistic now. So that's 2 fish and basically an hour. You can get right down to it. What do I do with that other bait? Oh, there it is. Couldn't see it there behind the pedals. 2 fish in an hour. So not the most productive as far as numbers go, but that fish right there was, nice size right there. Fun sizer, good quality. So I'm happy with that. Hopefully we can pick off some more here in the next hour, hour and a half before we get out of here. Let's reel this one in, switch it out. I'm not opposed to leaving out baits for long periods of time. I mean, I've had baits that's been in the water for several hours before they get bit, but even though I am short on bait, like I do have, I got enough for us to, we don't have to be too conservative with it. That's what I'm trying to get at, if I get my words out. Like we can make sure our bait's good and fresh the whole time out here today. Now tomorrow, the weather tomorrow, the wind ain't gonna be bad. So I can do whatever I want tomorrow. And I think I'm gonna try to hit some more main channel areas tomorrow and do some dragging since I won't have to, I'll be able to do what I want where I want tomorrow. Whereas today, with the direction that the wind was going today, I knew right here we could kind of tuck ourselves in here. But where's that damn bait at? My sinker got down to the bottom. Oh, ain't got time to fool with it because we're hooked up here again. That other bait, the sinker gets to the bottom before the bait does, and you gotta catch up with it. But this one, he said he ain't waiting on it, man. He said he's gonna go ahead and eat the gizzard shad head. that we got already set up down there. That's 3 fish now on the head, man. This one ain't gonna be as big as his last friend, but still. Maybe we about to get some fish working through here now. That's 2 back to back. Yeah. Yeah, there he is. He's left that bait on too. I'd like to get that back. I mean, go ahead and net him so we don't risk throwing that bait off there. Boy, look at him. You can tell, buddy, he has been in the mud, like buried in it. He's got mud all the way up to the top of his back. I mean, seriously, I'm not even exaggerating. I'll show you here in a second. Let me get the hook out of you. First fish, and I'm gonna show you how dirty you are. You should have took a bath before you come on this video. He don't care. He ain't got no raising. He ain't got no manners. There we go. Okay. Look at this fish though, folks. I mean, mud on the sides, up here to the top, both. I mean, he's just been, get on out of here, you nasty fish. Covered in mud up in here on video. He may not be embarrassed, he may not care, but I guarantee you he's got some parents down there somewhere that are just beside themselves that he would act that way on video. There we go, let's fix this bait back. It's still good. Yeah, buddy, that's 2 in a row though. Well, if we can get our bait out. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna rehook it through the other side. Yeah, still perfect. Yep. We'll drop this one down and then we'll get that body section reset. But that's 3 on the head now. Nothing on the chunk. And that's the kind of thing when you're, like earlier when I was talking about fishing out of this kayak in a tournament, it's like when you can only run 1 rod, if I'm dragging, for instance, then if it's a situation where they are showing a preference to one type or cut of bait on a particular day, it takes longer to sort through that. Because probably what I would do, what I've been doing when I've dragged baits in this kayak with just using the 1 rod, I'll rotate. Like I'll pull a head bait, and then when I catch a fish, we'll put on a body section. Catch another fish, we'll put back on a head bait. Or if I'm dragging and I'm just not getting any fish, I'll give it 30, 45 minutes, and then I'll switch out and try a different cut. And that way, you're cycling through the day and trying to decipher things. But on tournament day, you really you ain't got a lot of time. I mean, you gotta make the most of the time you do have out there during tournament hours. So you don't really necessarily want to be having to waste a lot of your time with baits that ain't going to work. So I don't know, one of them things. But I do hope tomorrow, whatever shad we got left here, take them out and hit some main channel areas that won't be so exposed, since they won't be, well, at least not forecasted to be the wind like there is today. And like out here, I mean, even out in the channel there, I could drag that direction into the wind and be just fine and be as far as controlling speed. But the problem you're going to run into today is there is a little bit of current flow out there. Not much. You're not going to get any, like over here, you're not getting any kind of flow out of this creek like this. Maybe at the very back of this creek, there might be some water coming in. But like there's no water movement out here where we're at. But when you get out there in the channel, there might be a little bit of possibly of noticeable flow going that way. And so when I am dragging when there is possibly some current, I like to go against the current. But I wouldn't be able to necessarily do that if we tried it today out there, because I would be forced to troll into the wind to control speed, which would just happen to be going with the current. So that's a long, convoluted answer to a question you didn't ask. But tomorrow, though, by gosh, tomorrow, if the wind forecast is what it says it's going to be, then tomorrow we're going to get out there and drag, and I may go back to where I got them big fish on that last trip. I don't know. I ain't got no more crappie. Need to, oh. Something's after it again. 3 fish now on that head. Ain't nothing messing with the... He's got it now. Look at him. There we go. Number 4. Number 4 on the head. Maybe. Okay, now he's going to run. Boy, he just shot off. Shot off like a rocket. Where did that come from? He got mad at it, didn't he? You better get it under control, fish. You whoop now. Now he's coming back this way. Yeah, I wonder, like, is it a situation where they're just, that head bait's more attractive to them? Or is it a situation where they're coming in out of the channel? And this is the first bait, the way the kayak is setting, because the wind's kind of keeping the front of the kayak going this way. Are they getting to this bait first? And they're not even getting to that other one over there. Maybe, I don't know. I guess we could put this on the other side to test that theory, but I really don't care enough. I'd rather keep our head bait farthest away from the anchor rope, because I feel like it's more likely to catch the big fish anyway. But that would be how we could test it, just switch the position of the rods. That's another pretty good one right here. That's another fun sizer. Man, 4 fish all on the head. I'll be doggone, man. Okay. Come over here, buddy. I'm gonna put you in that net, bring you in too. Did he throw the bait off? I believe he did. This one here, I'm gonna give him some front camera time too. Whoo, buddy. All right, man. It started kind of slow for us, folks, but that's how anchor fishing goes, man. You go through stretches where we were in the right place at the wrong time. You nasty fish, you burping. He's burping. You need to say, excuse me, there's possibly ladies watching this. There might be. I know my audience is only like 10% women. But it's possible some of them 10%'s watching right now, and you just burped. He's hooked kind of deep, but I think we're good. Here, I do need to get you all out of the way. Y'all sit up there. As I'm trying to look down this fish's gullet, and I'm looking, that camera's blocking my view. I think he's okay. I think he's hooked deep, but it's not so deep that he's going to be injured from it. If I can just get hold of it with the pliers. I may bend the hook, though, trying to get it out, possibly. There we go. Got it. I'll take a look at that hook here in a minute. Make sure it ain't bent up. Okay. This one here is another fun sizer, man. Look at that. I'll take it, buddy. I'll take it. It was slow for the first, I don't know, hour or so. Like, we just really didn't have much going on. But now we've got some fish working through in the last few minutes here. Now we've got them, we've got some moving in. That's how it be. That one right there had some mud on his side too. But that's how it is, man. You can be set up in the right place that fish are going to be working through. And if you're there at the wrong time, you just ain't going to get bit. You can't catch fish that ain't there. But places like this, when you're setting up in these creeks and you know there's bait in the creeks and that fish are going to come in and feed on that bait, it's timing. It's a matter of time. And we're fortunate right now that it just so happens these fish are working through while we're set up here. Man, this bait though, I'm gonna send it back down. We've got 2 fish on it, but it ain't been down there long, so we'll send it down, get it reset. Our other one over here, I mean, surely to goodness we're going to catch something on that rod today, but we may not. Good to have options. Just can't do it in this kayak while I'm dragging. I'm cold, y'all, but it's worthwhile today, man. Let's get y'all back up here. How long have we been at this? So we've been at it about an hour and a half now. So the first 45 minutes to an hour, we didn't really have much of anything going. But now, that's what, 3 fish here in the last little bit. So, all right, man. Yeah. I don't even remember what I was talking about now. That fish broke my train of thought. I think I was talking about my neighbor and the power lines or something. Oh, let me tell you this story. This has happened since I last talked to you all in one of these unedited videos. My neighborhood got robbed, y'all. I didn't, thankfully, but some of my neighbors did. So I woke up the other day, I had a text from the fornicator. That's what I call him anyway. I call him the fornicator. He's a fella up the road from me. And Daphne the dog, when I first got her, she's real good at escaping fences. Those of you regular viewers, you've heard some of the stories of Daphne. But she would go up to his house because he's got dogs and he does some boarding and stuff for people. So she would find her way up there to his house to play with his dogs and whoever's dogs he was boarding at the time. So we exchanged phone numbers and whatnot, and because of that, and he helped me with her too, because he trains dogs as well. So he was helping me, like we'd walk around the neighborhood sometimes, and he was helping me like get her leash trained and stuff. So yeah, I kind of developed a rapport with him a little bit, but him and I were not like, I mean, we're friendly, but I mean, I wouldn't call us friends per se. Like we're not hanging out, we're not texting, we're not calling. Like there's nothing like that outside of Daphne escaping my fence and going to his house. So I hadn't heard from him or talked to him in a while. But anyway, oh, and I was going to tell you why I call him the fornicator. So while we were out on one of them leash training sessions around the neighborhood, he was telling me, well, he was trying to get me to come to his church. Well, he's very like super religious, like very. I mean, I'm talking like very religious. Of course, ain't nothing wrong with that. But one of the things he was telling me, he was telling me about his life before he found Jesus and all that. And he said, the line he used, he said, I was a liar, a thief, and a fornicator. And at the time, just him saying fornicator, it cracked me. I was trying to keep a straight face when he told me, but I mean, I wanted to be respectful and whatnot, and it's good for him, finding religion and all that and changing his life. But it was just how he said it. I was a liar, a thief, and a fornicator. So anyway, now at my house, he is known as the fornicator. So like when Daphne would run off or something, I'd get the call. It was my girlfriend at the time, my wife now. I'd be like, honey, I'm going up to the fornicators to get the dog. So that's how he's kind of known. So anyhow, I wake up the other morning and I've got a text from him. First time in a while I've had any communication with him, but he said, you might want to check your vehicles. Some of the cars in the neighborhood got burglarized last night, and he sent me a link to a Facebook post. And so I click on the link, and the city I live in, I guess all cities probably do, they got like Facebook groups and whatnot, and people will post random stuff in there about the city or community or whatever, yard sales, looking for work, those type of posts. Well, this girl had posted a clip, I guess from security camera footage at her house of a dude in her car, like taking stuff. And so I click on the girl's profile there who had made the post, and I recognize her instantly. She lives probably maybe a quarter mile up the road. So when you go up my road, it splits. You can go to the right and it'll loop around the neighborhood and come back out to the highway, or you can keep going straight and goes up to the top of a hill at a dead end. So this girl lives up at the top of that hill there on the dead end. And I recognized her because, well, Daphne on her walkabouts, every time she escapes, like she just goes until she finds another dog to play with or gets tired and ends up on somebody's porch. But she ended up at their house. This girl and her boyfriend live up there, and she ended up there one time. And so they had called me, and I'd went up there and got Daphne and was talking to them and whatnot. And they're this girl and her boyfriend both real nice people. I've got some neighbors that I really don't like, but this girl and her boyfriend, they're all right. And since then, like, there's been a couple other times Daphne ran off and ended up at their house, and they didn't even bother calling me. They just load her up in the car and like bring her back home. Like they're okay in my book. So when I saw this girl, I'm like, oh, I recognize her, you know, and like I hate that her car got broke into and stuff got stolen. Well, I start reading the comments on the post, and another guy had commented that his car got broke into, and so I click on his profile. I'm like, hell, that's the guy that lives right down below me. And so I'm like, well, hell, I got to go out there and check. So me and my wife, because we don't lock our cars at night. Well, we went out and checked, and neither one of us got broke into. And I think probably what saved us is, one, my driveway's pretty long. Like you can't see my house from the road. And my property's fenced, which don't really matter for Daphne. She'll find a way to escape whenever she damn well pleases. But for a random person that's maybe breaking into a car here and then walking through somebody's yard to get to the next one, like for him to come rob me, he's going to have to make a commitment. Like he's going to have to come up my driveway and go back out through the gate, right? So maybe that saved us, I don't know, but we didn't have anything taken. And of course I got security cameras up out there anyway, because I got my kayaks and stuff out there on the carport. So I mean, I've got security cameras up for that very reason, but still, you know, seeing that girl's post, and then my neighbor literally right below me, like my property adjoins his, gets broken into, like it kind of hit close to home. And which that guy that lives down there, like I've never actually spoken to him. I've spoken to his kids because they've brought Daphne home before too. Daphne the dog has made sure that I've had to interact with damn near every person in my neighborhood. I mean, damn near all of them I've had to interact with, but I haven't actually talked to that guy. I refer to him as micro penis guy because he has a car that he revs up the engine as loud as it'll possibly go every time he pulls out his driveway going down the road. Now I'm like, his pecker can't be more than about 3 inches long if he's going to rev up the car engine that loud pulling out the driveway. So in my house, there's the fornicator and the micro penis guy. And then Sanford and Son live on the other side of us because they're just trashy people and I can't stand them. There are a couple neighbors that I really hate. But yeah, so that's some of the neighbors in my in my area, folks. But yeah, we got robbed, man. The dude was just, I guess, going house to house, and if the car doors were unlocked, he'd get in there and rummage around, take stuff out. So I don't know if they ever caught the guy or not. The picture of him was pretty clear. Like that girl's security camera got a pretty good picture of his face. But I don't know if they ever caught him or anything like that. People just rob you blind anymore, man. Hell, I told you all that story last year when my other neighbor, the guy whose power lines, or the tree fell across power lines, he's in front of me. His daddy stole my gravel last year. Hey, when he first moved in, his daddy brought a bobcat up there and was doing some work in the yard and clearing stuff, and I caught him stealing my gravel, taking gravel out of my driveway, scraping it and filling in this ditch with water run. And it really pissed me off, but he lied to me and told me, oh, we're fixing it. Yeah, we're going to bring in more gravel and we're going to make it better than it was before, blah, 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 blah. Well, hell, he didn't ever do nothing. He lied to me. He just lied to me because he got caught stealing that day. He ain't never been back. I've kept an eye out looking for that kid's daddy. He ain't never been back over. I guess when they have their parent-son visits, the son goes to the parent's house, as far as I know, because he ain't never been back. And I can see his driveway, like, you look out my living room window, like I can see his driveway down there through the woods, so I know when people are there or whatnot. But that has been a real conflict for me. Because here's the situation. I hate a thief. Like, I hate it. I hate people that steal. I don't care if you're stealing physical objects, like the guy breaking into cars in my neighborhood, or if you're stealing digital things, like these people that steal my videos and post them to their page to try to make money off me. Like, I hate a thief. I just hate people that steal. You work too hard for what you got to have people just come in and take it. It pisses me off. So because this kid's daddy stole from me, I've kind of had a grudge against him. He didn't steal it from me. His daddy did. But his daddy was out there acting on his own behalf, right? So I've been in a conflict with that because this kid that lives in front of me, I don't know how old, I say he's a kid, but I mean, he's probably early 20s. I'm sure it's his first house and whatnot. And, you know, he don't know what he don't know. But he's been, aside from the issue with his daddy, he's been a really good neighbor. Like, he's quiet. He keeps to himself. He doesn't have any kids. He doesn't have any animals. Like, like there's no yapping dog out there. You're barking nonstop. There's no kids being pests and whatnot, because I'm not really a kid person. So, like, he's been a really good neighbor. I mean, if you're quiet and you keep to yourself and you keep your property in good shape, like, you'll never have a problem with me. Like, I'm a bit of an asshole to Sanford and Son that lives beside me, but they're real trashy. You know, like, they're trashy. And he gets out there in his shed at 6 o'clock in the morning on a weekend and is out there pounding away, waking us up all damn time. It just pisses me off. It's rude and inconsiderate, and I don't like rude and inconsiderate people. And I especially don't like thieves. So anyway, I've had a grudge against this boy that lives in front of me since he moved in because of his daddy. But he's been a good neighbor. Like, of all the neighbors I have, if you throw out the incident with his daddy, like, he would probably be my best neighbor. But I did have the incident with his daddy. So initially my thought was, when enough time had went by, I'm like, okay, his daddy lied to me. He ain't coming back. He ain't fixing this driveway. And it's worse now, because the way his daddy took that bobcat through his yard, the water, the way the hill is, like, you go down the driveway there from my house to his, which I don't ever use that driveway anyway. It was just the principle of it. The fact he stole from me. I never use that driveway. I use the driveway that comes in from the back of my house. But water runs downhill. So it had found its way down my driveway and off this kid's yard this direction, and it had washed out that area beside his driveway, which the daddy took my gravel to fill in. Well, the problem with him doing that was he didn't fix how the water was going to run. Like, he didn't create a diversion at all. In fact, he made it worse, because when he cleared out and kind of graded off where he did, now water just flows more easily down that hill. So all the gravel that I had that he stole to fill in that ditch, well, it's down there on the highway now at the bottom of that kid's driveway, because when we've had the rainstorms, it's just all washed down. And so at the time, I was pissed, and I was like, you know what? Him and I share. So the way it runs, comes up from the highway up that hill, and it's concrete or asphalt or whatever. My property, the way the property line is, him and I share that driveway. Like, half of it's on me, half of it's on him. And then the driveway comes up, and here's his house, and then it splits up and turns to come up to my house this way. But again, I never use that driveway because I bought the adjoining lot that's kind of behind and to the side of my house, and it had a driveway cut in, so I just use it because it's a side road and it's much easier to get in and out of than down there at the highway. So I don't use that driveway at all, but I was like, I need to do something to really mess this kid up, you know, because his daddy stole from me. So I had the idea I'd get a jackhammer or hire somebody with a jackhammer and bust up my half of the driveway. And everybody's trying to talk me out of it. I'm like, you know, Justin, this kid didn't do that to you. His daddy did. So you're not hurting the daddy. You're just hurting the kid by making him drive up the busted up concrete there in the driveway if you do that. And it's going to hurt my property value having that busted up driveway. So then I got the idea. I was like, well, if I'm not going to bust up that driveway, then the other best way to probably stick it to him would be to fix my driveway, the gravel portion of it myself, but do it so good that the water will run, wash out more of that area that his daddy was trying to fix by stealing my gravel. And that could easily be done. Now, it'll cost money. I'll have to spend money to fix this driveway properly, so that it would do it, a driveway which I don't ever use, but I may still end up doing that. This spring, I may still end up doing it. But otherwise, you know, and this kid, I'm so conflicted on it, because the kid's been good. I even had a package that got delivered to his house, and he come and set it up there by my gate. So, like, I should have just snatched his daddy off that bobcat the day I caught him stealing, but I let him I let him look me right in the eye and lie to me, and I bought it. And now his daddy ain't never been back over since. So I don't know. I've been, and you know, I was young and stupid once too. Some would say I'm still stupid, even though I ain't all that young anymore. But like, I'll tell you, I had hired a guy when I first got my house. There was my house and a small yard and then woods all around me. And I hired a guy. This is back before like Facebook Marketplace. This is back when Craigslist days. But I found this fellow on Craigslist that done bobcat work. And so I hired him to come in and clear some brush and stuff and expand my yard. And the guy shows up, and he was asking about what is now Sanford & Sons property that lived right beside me. And before Sanford & Son moved there, it was a construction company owned that lot. And so they would park their equipment there sometimes, and they would have stuff piled up, debris and whatnot. That's what that used to be before. The people now I call Sanford & Son. They're just trashy people. They're just, if you picture this guy, he's an old, disgustingly fat guy. He never wears a shirt, at least not in the spring and summer months. You see him out there. He's these short shorts on, and that's all he's wearing. He's just nasty. He's just a nasty man. But anyway, they bought that property and put their double wide on there, and so now it's a normal lot, a normal living space now. But before, it was just a vacant lot, and that construction company owned it, and they'd put stuff up there from time to time, building materials and equipment and all that. And so that contractor I hired, he said, what's going on with this property over here? Do you think we could put some of this debris over? I was like, well, no, that ain't my property. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, they've got all this other stuff piled up. I'm gonna go down there to the construction company and talk to them and see if it'll be okay. And I'm like, well, sure, fine. So the guy comes back and he's like, hey, I talked to the owner. They're good with me putting this brush and stuff over there. I'm gonna just pile it up on them. Okay, whatever. I bought it because I thought he had legit went and talked to the owner of the property. Because down below the hill there, they had a shop. That was like their office or whatever from that construction company. So I never questioned it. Well, he does the work with the bobcat there and piles some stuff up over there on that fella's property. And this is a life lesson I learned the hard way, talking about thieves. I paid part of the money up front with the other half of the money to be paid at the job completion. Well, he comes to me midway through the job, and he's like, I know we discussed paying at the end of the job, but he had other stuff he needed to buy or whatever, fuel and whatnot. And he said, can I go ahead and would it be okay if I go ahead and get the money now? And, this guy had showed up. He'd done good work with what he had done, so I went ahead and paid him the rest of the money. Well, guess who I never saw again? That guy. He never come back to finish the job, wouldn't answer the phone, blocked my number, all that, just disappeared. So, damn thief. Well, come to find out, a little time goes by, I get a knock on my door. It's the owner of the construction company. And he wants to know why I've piled up all this debris on his property. So that guy he never went down there and talked to him. He lied, and he just piled it up over there. And so I had to end up hiring somebody else to come take the brush and stuff that he had put over at the bobcat on his property and move it back to mine. So, from that standpoint, the construction company owner guy, I'm sure, looked at me the same way that I look at this kid now that lives in front of me. That kid in front of me, he owns that house. He's responsible, even though it's his daddy, he's responsible for the work he's doing out there. So his daddy made a decision, steal that gravel. The kid, truth be told, probably didn't know about it, but the kid's responsible ultimately. Same way in my situation. I hired that contractor to do the bobcat work. And even though I told him up front that wasn't my property, but he said he went and talked to the owner, got permission, and, that was a lie, but ultimately that's on me. I should have been the one to go talk to the construction company owner. I let him, which he obviously didn't do, but, that was on me. That was my mistake. I was young and stupid, didn't know any better. So, I kind of have some empathy from the kid from that perspective. It's like, his dad's over there doing some work, helping him out. He's probably not going to question his daddy anyway. So, I don't know. But either way, I'm spiteful and I'm petty. I know this about myself. And there's a good chance that come spring, I'm probably going to fix that have that driveway fixed. I can't do it myself. But have it fixed in such a way that it's going to cause that ditch right there that he was stealing my gravel to fill in. It's going to cause it to wash out even more when it's done. There's a good chance that that's going to happen. So, I can't stand a thief, man. I just can't stand it. I think I've told this story before. It goes back in time to when I was a kid. This is when I started hating thieves. This may be a rerun for some of you that have heard this story before, but I'm going to tell it again for those of you that are new. Because we've apparently, them fish that worked through have apparently gone. We got some time here to kill before the next bite. We got to do something to keep warm out here. But when I was a kid, I've always been a pretty introverted person. Like, I'm pretty antisocial and introverted now. But I didn't just turn that way. Like, I've been that way ever since I was a kid, man. I've always been somebody that needed me time to kind of recharge, if you will. Oh. The body section over there is getting nipped at. Eat it one time. Eat it one time right there. We got him. We finally got that body section eat. Oh, no, I lost him. I felt him come off. Let's see what's going on with our bait here. Oh, the hook's turned back in on the bait. Daggone, man. I thought we was finally going to get this bait eat over here. Let's rehook it and send it back down. All the innards and everything's still in there, so. But, yeah, so, like, you know, as a kid, I was pretty introverted and stuff, and I had to ride the school bus as a kid. And the way the bus route was, I was the first one on in the morning and the last one on, or last one off in the afternoon. What's happening here? Okay, I thought we had a little something going on there for a second. But anyway, I had a lot of time on the school bus. And after being at school all day long and interacting with people, what I liked to do when I would get on the school bus would be put on my headphones and just kind of tune out the world. Just keep myself there on the school bus and just play the music there, right? Play my cassette tapes. Well, one year for Christmas, I got a Sony Walkman cassette player. Any of you, well, they probably ain't no kids watching or listening to this video, but if you're under age 35, hell, you probably don't even know what a cassette tape is. But they were all the rage back in the day, man. Cassette tapes, Sony Walkman, that's where it was at. You had headphones that were actually headphones with little spongy things that cover your ears. This is how old this was. But for one year for Christmas, I got a Sony Walkman, and it was the yellow one that was water resistant. I forget what they're called now. They had a name back then. Walkman Sport maybe, but it was yellow and it had rubber buttons. It was water resistant. Man, I was proud of that thing. It was a Christmas present. I love that thing. I mean, that was my, like I said, when I'd get on the school bus, like that was, I'd pop them headphones on, man. Well, one day at school, that Walkman, Sony Walkman, got stolen out my backpack. And, you know, as a kid, like, I didn't have no money. And them Sony Walkmans at the time were pretty expensive. I mean, I don't know what a cassette player costs nowadays because they probably don't even make them anymore because they don't make cassette tapes. But at the time, like, I mean, that was an expensive gadget. Like, it was an expensive Christmas present. And it got stolen from me. And when they took it, when it got stolen, like it wasn't just about the physical object of what got stolen from me. It was, and you probably won't understand this if you're not an introverted person, but like for me, I can talk to you through this camera all day long and perfectly fine. But like if I was having to talk to individual people, or especially group situations, man, it just drains me. Like, I mean, just when I'm in like, when I'm having to be, oh, hold on. We got that head eat. We got that head eat over here. Oh, he let it go too. As soon as I picked up on it, I felt him let go. Let's check our bait. But like, when I'm in social situations, like, I find it to just be exhausting. Like, oh, he's on this one now. Let's get this one reset. Let's get this one reset down there. He has got that thing buried, man. This rod gets hit. Fish comes off. We got the other one over here now. Y'all, if you was a fishing partner worth a damn, you'd grab that rod. You could have done had him reeled in. We got to be careful with this one. He's by this. Oh my gosh, and he come free too. Y'all should have grabbed that rod. You should have grabbed it. It still hooked good and everything. You could have got hold of that fish while I was lowering the other bait back down. I can't get y'all to do nothing. Daggone, lost 2 in a row right there. But no, like I said, like, man, as an introverted person, and if you're not introverted, you understand, but like, it's just exhausting being around people. And I'm not even talking about necessarily annoying people, which those make it worse, but just being around people and interacting and socializing and stuff, like, it just takes a lot out of me. And I need to be able to kind of decompress. And that Sony Walkman was my way as a kid to decompress. I could just put on my headphones, and even though I was around people on the school bus and stuff, like, I could just kind of decompress after being at school all day and being in social situations and whatnot. So when they stole that Walkman from me, they didn't just take the object, the physical Sony Walkman. Yeah, they took it, but they also took my way to recharge or decompress or whatever you want to call it. Like, they stole that from me. And you know, and I don't remember how old I was, but I mean, I was a kid. And after that, man, it just changed something in me. Like, it just, now, like, when somebody steals, I mean, I don't care what they steal from me, anything. I can see some of these people on social media, they steal my videos and they'll get 12 views on a video. So they're not making any money from it. Now, some of them have stole my videos and gone viral and made a lot of money off of me, but I don't even care about that. It could be 12 views and they don't make anything from it. The fact that they stole it, it makes me so angry. And I think it all stems from being a kid and having that stolen from me. And it wasn't even, I mean, I did really like that Sony Walkman. I mean, as a kid, that was a big, expensive present. But I mean, it was more than that. And they took that from me. So now I just can't stand a thief, man. I can't stand it. I hate a thief. I don't care what it is they're stealing, how big the amount of value is. Like, I just hate them. I hate them. So God help that fella that's breaking into cars in my neighborhood. If my security camera ever goes off in the middle of the night and I catch him out there rummaging through our vehicles, he might have some holes in him. But the time I'm done, and I say that half jokingly and half serious, because I mean, it makes me so mad, y'all. It just makes me so mad, people stealing. I just can't stand it. I'll tell you another, speaking of theft, we just going on that conversation topic today in between these fish here. Let me tell you about how we got robbed by Lowe's recently. Not really, but kinda. So, and part of this may not happen because this snowstorm coming in this weekend, we may not even actually get. So let me tell you this. So my wife, she likes clothes. And way more than me. Like, I mean, I pretty much wear the same damn thing all the time. Like, I'm not into clothes at all. Like, I just wear whatever. And because of that, I've never really cared. Not only do I just wear whatever, but when I do laundry, I do everything at once. Like, I've got probably 10 or 12 pairs of underwear. And so when I run out of clean underwear, that's when I know it's time to do laundry. And when I do laundry, everything goes in. Underwear, socks, shirts, pants, hoodie, which this hoodie here, you can probably see all the stains on it. I ain't washed this hoodie in months. I don't even know when it's been washed. I just hang my hoodies up and wear them again next time. But everything gets washed in one load all together. That's how I've always done it, and that's how it is. Well, my wife, when she does laundry, everything's multiple loads. Like, she washes certain things with certain things. Other things have to be in cold water or hot water, or some things can be dried, some's got to be hung up. Like, it's a process when she does laundry. Well, she hates my washing machine. She's always hated it. It apparently don't do, it washes clothes, which is all I need it to do, but it don't have all the fancy settings and stuff that she wants, right? And I've been unwilling to go buy a new washing machine just to buy a new washing machine. I'm like, honey, if this one tears up, I'll do it. But I don't want to just go buy a new washing machine when we have one that works perfectly fine. Well, her and I got married. And one of her aunts, for a wedding present, gave us a gift card to Lowe's. And because her aunt knew she was wanting a washing machine. So she gave her a gift card there for her wedding present. And my wife had some credit card points that she was able to turn in and get a Lowe's gift card. And her other aunt, because she's got several aunts, was holding off on getting us a wedding present until my wife picked out a washing machine and whatnot. So the plan was, she's going to go to Lowe's the other day, pick out a washing machine, and put that gift card that her aunt got us for her wedding and the gift card that she got from her credit card points toward the washer, and then whatever's left, her other aunt was going to pay the difference. So basically, got no money out of pocket for this washing machine that we don't need, but it's what she wants. So she goes to Lowe's. She gets a washing machine, and she also gets us a freezer, because my freezer, I had that outdoor chest freezer there on my porch. It tore up last year. It was old. I'd bought it used and had it for, gosh, I don't know. I bought my house in 2006. So, I mean, it was 17, 18 years old. Well, I had it for 17, 18 years. I don't know how old it was when I got it, because I bought it used. So, I mean, it was old. It crapped out. The wife's been wanting a new freezer, so she bought a freezer there at Lowe's too. Well, she gets home and she tells me, I knew she was getting the washing machine. I didn't know about the freezer. And so I said, well, did you measure the freezer to make sure it's going to fit there on the porch where the other one was? And she said, oh, it's the same size as the other one. And I was like, well, I would have thought you got the bigger one. Because we just had that freezer I had was kind of small. I forget the cubic feet of it, but I mean, it was a smaller one. And she's like, well, I didn't really think about time. And so anyhow, the next day she gets out, she's running around, she decides she is going to get the bigger freezer. So she goes back to Lowe's, and this stuff was supposed to be delivered. The washing machine and freezer was going to be delivered this coming Saturday, which conveniently is when the snowstorm is going to hit. So who knows if it'll get delivered or not. But anyway, she goes in there and says, hey, we've got this delivery scheduled. I want to exchange this freezer for the more expensive, bigger one here. And I haven't worked in retail in a long time. I mean, I worked it as a teenager. I was at the Kmart. That was my first job I ever had. But I don't know how things work now. But I would just assumed they would have, either had her pay the difference of the two freezers, or just cancel out the freezer that she had bought, put that on like a Lowe's gift card, and then apply that to the next freezer one. However they need to do it. Well, she's there at the service desk, and the guy does a refund on the freezer. And he says, yeah, and I guess he hands her the receipt, and I'm hearing this from her. I wasn't there, but he hands her the receipt, and he's like, yeah, $200 went back to this credit card ending in whatever, which was her aunt that was there with her that was going to pay the difference or whatever. And $61 and change whatever went back on this gift card and had like the last four numbers. And she says, well, why did you do that? Why did you put it on that card? Like, I don't have that card, because it was the gift card that she had gotten with her credit card points. It was like just a card they mail you in there and whatnot. And when she had went through the cash register there the day before to buy the stuff, well, the card had zero balance, so the cashier just throws it away, right? Like, you don't keep a gift card with no balance on it. So this guy at the service desk processes this refund, puts it back on that card that she doesn't have. And she's trying to, explain to him, and he's like, well, I can't do anything about it now. It's done. It's like, well, just void out the transaction and put it on a new card. Well, I can't do that. It's like, well, why didn't you ask me how I wanted the refund back? Well, I don't get to pick. The computer picks how it goes back. And so, she's upset because she don't have this card. And she doesn't even have like the whole number on the card to be able to like type it in at the cash register. Like, she don't even have that, because you don't memorize. I could probably tell you my credit card number because I've put it in on online purchases so much. But like a normal gift card, you're not going to know that. And it's $61. And so, I mean, it's a big enough amount of money. Like, it's going to piss you off. So she goes, and they give her the number for like the gift card people or whatever. And so she calls them, and they can't do anything about it because she don't even have the card number. Like, she got the last four digits or whatever there on the receipt, but like they can't do anything about it. And so she goes back into the store and asks to speak to a manager, and the guy there at the service desk said, well, we don't have a manager here today, which, I mean, that's total. Somebody in that store has some keys. Like, there's an assistant man. Somebody's in charge. So he lied to her, but she didn't know no better. So she comes on home. She's upset. She's been up there dealing with this for a while. And my wife, she's very like non-confrontational. Like, she don't do good with arguments and stuff. Me, she's the yin to my yang on that. Like, we're total opposites when it comes to that. So I was like, here's what we're going to do, by God. I'm going to call the Lowe's like 1-800 number customer service number. And I explained to some guy from India named Pete. He had an American name, a heavy Indian accent, but we were communicating. And I was explaining to him what had happened and the fact that we couldn't get this card because it had been thrown away. It ain't like we can go rummaging through the dumpster up there. Like, I mean, it had been a full day. I'm sure it was gone. Like, that card no longer exists. And old Pete couldn't understand. Like, I think Pete thought that we was just trying to get an extra gift card. So I ended up cussing out Pete over the phone. I called him a bunch of names, and I kind of lost my mind a little bit. I got very angry at Pete. So I don't think Pete was going to help us out to begin with, but he definitely wasn't after I cussed him out and called him names and stuff. So we hung up the phone with no resolution. So now Lowe's has $61 and change of our money. And And I was telling Pete this on the phone. I'm like, Pete, I've spent a lot of money at Lowe's through the years. I'm 43 years old. God willing, I'm going to live another 40 plus years, and I'm going to have to buy a bunch more stuff at Lowe's throughout the rest of my life. I hate you, Pete. And I was calling him all his names. I'm like, I hate you, and I hate Lowe's, and I ain't never coming up there again after all this. I said, if I could do it right now, I would cancel the washing machine, the freezer. I would cancel it all, but I can't, because if I do that, you're going to put that money back on them gift cards, the full amount that we don't have, and then it's out there. It's gone. We can't do anything about it. So now not only are we going to be out $61, but we're going to be out the full amount that was on the gift cards, because we don't have any of the original gift cards. So I'm like, it's $61 here that I'm all pissed off about. Like, you're losing thousands of dollars in future business over $61. Like, it's just bad customer service. Like, you would think he'd start off by apologizing for the situation, because if the kid at the customer service desk asks my wife, how do you want this refund back? She would have just said, well, put it toward the more expensive freezer, because that's what it's going toward anyway. Or put it on a new gift card, and I'll put that toward the more expensive freezer. He didn't ask. So you got the original employee on the first day that threw away the gift card, which, I mean, that's what happens all the time when there's zero balance on a gift card. You throw them away. So I don't fault that person. But nevertheless, that person, their cashier, threw away the gift card, and the customer service associate put the refund back on a card that we don't have anymore. So Lowe's messed up twice. But yet, we're just like, well, tough break. That's that. Like, there's no resolution. So Pete got cussed out big time. And so needless to say, I'm not going to Lowe's ever again. They can kiss my pearly white ass. I will never shop there ever again as long as I live. I hate Lowe's, and I hate Pete. And you know what I hate most of all? I hate these companies, American companies like Lowe's, that have their customer service numbers pimped out to India. Now, Pete, his accent was pretty thick, but I was at least able to comprehend it. But they farm out these customer service places for cheap labor overseas, and then when you as an American need to call about a customer service issue, you can't half understand anything they're saying. Like, there's a big language barrier. So that pisses me off too. But I hate Lowe's. I ain't ever going back. But we had to take the washing machine, or we're going to have to take it, because like I said, if we canceled it, they were just going to put it back on the money back on the gift cards that we don't have. So, fortunately, while Lowe's has piss poor customer service, my wife's credit card company, I said, the company sent you this gift card, because where she had cashed in her points or whatever and turned it into Lowe's gift card. My first question to her was like, why didn't you just put it on your card and have them apply the points to the balance? Like, that would have been a smart thing to do. But she, in her mind, she's like, well, I already got this Lowe's gift card. I'll just get another one. I get it. But she called the credit card company, and they are giving her a credit balance on her card of the amount there that was lost on the gift card. Because, I mean, even like the packaging of the gift card, it says on there, it's like a disclaimer. It says, like, treat this card as cash, cannot be lost or replaced or whatever. Like, they've got a disclaimer on the damn cards. But it was so stupid of that guy to put that, to refund it back to a card that doesn't exist. So, anyway, we have to take the washing machine from Lowe's. It's supposed to be delivered on Saturday, assuming that the snowstorm don't hit. They're going to come get my washer that currently works and haul it off and put the new one in. And you might be saying right now, Justin's like, well, why don't you just sell the washing machine you have? And I probably could, but then I'd have to interact with people. I'd have to go through the process of letting people come to my house. I'd probably have to help them load it up in their vehicle. I don't want to fool with that. And my washing machine's so old, it probably ain't worth nothing anyway. So Lowe's people can haul it off when they come. We already got the freezer. We ended up going, well, my wife went, I was watching ball games. Wife went up there, they loaded up the freezer, and I unloaded it when she got it home there. But we've got it set up now. It's going to be nice having a bigger freezer again. There's been times where I've kind of missed having the freezer. So we got that going for us at least. But the washing machine, I don't know, with the weather coming, I don't know if we're going to end up getting it or not. But it's the one she wanted. So she'll be happy. But we ain't ever going to Lowe's again. We've had such a bad experience with this. You know, it's it was $61 and change. That's a drop in the bucket for a company like Lowe's. That's where it's like common sense should prevail. Like, I'm sure people try to finagle the customer service all the time and whatnot, but it's like they can pull your records up there, stuff that you bought. They can see how much you've bought versus how much you've returned. Like Walmart, for instance, man. Every time I get groceries with my card, like it's all like they track all that stuff. So like when you've got somebody who has spent thousands of dollars at your place of business and they've never returned anything, and all of a sudden that person comes in and says, you know, here's our problem, here's what happened. Can you just cancel out this card and put the $61 on a different card? Like, you take care of those people. But instead, they're like, yeah, we're going to keep it at $61 and hell with you and all your future business. So, yeah, it was so stupid. She was upset. I ended up getting pissed. I was upset too by the time I was done with the conversation with Pete. This fish is going to be mad if he bites that bait another time and gets that hook. As the wind whips around a little more here. Let's pick up, see if we got him. We do. All right, man. Yeah, wind's blowing. I feel the wind coming out of the back of this creek a little bit. It ain't been, maybe it's just because we are blocked really good here, but it don't seem like it's blowing as hard as what they were calling for today. But boy, when it does blow, it's cold. It'll cut right through you here. It does me anyway. I hate being cold. This fish hates having a hook in his mouth. That's a small one right here. I think this is probably the smallest one of the day so far, ain't it? He's throwing that head off, which we probably need to switch it out anyway. Come here, blue kitty. Come here now. The old burping thing. Open up. Tell him to open his mouth. If I reach around him, I'm going to have to get my whole hand wet, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to have to end up doing that, ain't I? Come here. Now I'm really upset with you because I'm going to have to wash my hand off and get it freezing cold in cold water. Boy, he don't want to open up for nothing, does he? The smallest fish are always the most challenging to get unhooked. He ain't even got the hook anymore. He's just clamped. He's clamped on it. Give me it. This fish. There we go. Goodness gracious. Get on out of here. You old devil. That fish right there is apparently a friend of Pete's. He's defending Pete's honor all the way over there in India. These damn companies, though, man, they need to hire customer service people in America. Somebody that you can understand and have a conversation with. Like, it's just silly they farm all this stuff out like they do. And I know it's hard to find help in America. But like, I promise you, Lowe's is making enough money at their operation that they can have some customer service centers in America. Like, they can do it. I promise you they can. Hell, them could be work from home type jobs. All right, there goes that bait back down. Put a new fresh head on there. And I don't want to sound like, I'm not against somebody like Pete over there in India trying to work for a company like Lowe's and make some extra money and stuff. Like, they got to work too. I ain't opposed to that. But in jobs like that, it ought to be a requirement that, because I was able to understand Pete, but like if my dad was on the phone with Pete, he wouldn't have been able to, I promise you my dad wouldn't have been able to interact with him. Like you need to be able to speak. It's like certain jobs, there's job requirements. As a, when I was working as a nurse, like you start a job somewhere, there'd be a job description. Like, well, you got to lift X amount of pounds, or, be on your feet for a long period. Like there's things that you have to be able to do, or else you don't get that job. And these customer service type things, like you need to be able to speak the language of the people that you're going to be interacting with, or else you shouldn't be able to get that job. I don't think that's a stretch to require that. But old Lowe's, they're just they're so damn desperate for $1, they're going to take the cheapest labor they can get in any country they can get it, and then steal $61 for me and my wife. And it's only $61. Like, it's not a huge amount of money, but it's just the principle of it. Like, it seems so simple. Like, just cancel that one gift card and put it on a different one. Like, why is that so hard? Why is it so difficult? But boy, it was an ordeal. It was an experience. So I hope the people that show up to put the washing machine in are better than the people that we've dealt with so far, if they get to show up on Saturday. We shall see. We'll see what happens with this winter storm barreling across America. I guess someplace, I obviously just care about the weather local to me, but it's apparently going to be bad north of us. People are really going to get cold temperatures and a lot of snow, apparently. I don't mind the snow. It's pretty for a day or two, but I'm done with it after that. As a kid, when it would snow, you get out of school and you get to go sledding, and it was fun, build a snowman. And as an adult, I'm too lazy to walk up the hill too many times to go sledding. And, of course, there ain't no school to get out of. The only thing bad weather really does for me is knock me out of fishing. And, well, I don't really want that. So, yeah, it's pretty to look at for about a day. But hopefully if we get anything at all, hopefully it melts quick. But it's supposed to be cold next week. I may end up looking around and seeing where I could go and possibly get out of it. Take a little road trip, maybe. What I would ideally like is a week that's going to be cold here and not real windy down in South Florida, and go back down there and catch some sharks. That's what I'd really like. But need those two things to line up. Miserable cold here and not windy there. Because I don't want to go down there and not be able to do what I want to do. A long drive for that. But I do want to get down there, man. I had a really good time last year in the Everglades there, in the winter when all them sharks are piled in there. And I'd had that fishing guide there that I'd met, Chase. Met him there last year. And he had told me that Everglades in the winter, man, them sharks really pile in there. And when I went there after that there last year, after I talked to him about it, I had a good trip. So I want to go back and really hit it hard, especially now that I'm kind of getting things dialed in a little more with the Florida trips. Like, you know, when the first couple times I went to Florida, I caught some fish, but I really, everything's experiment, right? Like I didn't really know anything that I'm doing. But now that I've been, the last few years, been going every winter, I'm kind of starting to figure some things out. And rigs and the winds, the wears, and what I can do, what I can't do, getting more comfortable fishing in the ocean and saltwater and stuff, learning where I can launch. And there's things like that, like things you just don't know until you get some experience. And now that I've gotten some more experience, like I'm feeling more comfortable with it. I'm eventually going to get to a point where I can just go down there and be able to function. Like as soon as I get there, you know, look right here. This rod's bent over. I didn't even know it. I just glance up and that thing's bent over. Oh, and he's gone too. Dadgummit. I just glance up there and that rod's in the water. Send it back down. But yeah, like going to Florida, at this point, I really only need 3 rods to go down there for what I want to do anyway. I need my ultralight rod for fishing in the canals. He's on this rod now. He's on that head bait. Oh my gosh. I done it again. I pick up and pull it right out of his mouth. He's back on it. Do you see that? He's got it. He's got it in his mouth right now. I felt him bite it. Watch this. Watch this. Oh no, I done it again. I pulled it right. Let me just make sure this thing ain't foul hooked. No, it looks good. I felt him bite the daggone thing while I had it lowered down. I said it again this time. I'm going to make sure he's hooked before I pick up. I guess I need one of you all to grab it next time, since I'm pulling it right out their mouth. He went from one bait to the other. Well, assuming that was the same fish. I've probably spooked him now. Now he's had 2 baits ripped out of his mouth. We don't know if he'll come back for a third or not. I think that's him right here, probably. See that little mark right there? Oh, by gosh, that is him. Nah, surely he's got it now. Surely he's got it now. Oh, but he's gonna have a spinning right here. Oh, are you kidding me? No way that just happened again. All right, folks, for real this time, you need to grab a next rod. I'm jinxed here all of a sudden. I just keep missing the daggone thing. He had that rod. He must just be grabbing the bait on the end of it and not like fully eating it to get the hook. That's the only thing I can figure. All right, let's try that again. Surely the 4th time's the charm. I hope a kayak spins back around here in a second. That wind's blowing in my face right now. It ain't blowing much. I ain't feeling it much, but boy, just any kind of wind, it's just, I'm cold. If the sun was out, it probably wouldn't be too bad today. At least you'd feel the warmth of the sun on you, but it's cloudy. We're supposed to get some rain this evening. It's just gotten cloudy and I'm cold. I don't know. I guess that fish is gone now. But like I was saying, man, going to Florida, at this point, I've got it dialed in enough. I really only need 3 rods. I need my ultralight rod for the canals, bluegill, and stuff like that. You know, the smaller snapper. He's back. I ain't picking it up this time. One of y'all grab it. Surely to goodness. Surely to goodness we're going to catch him this time. How many times can we lose this fish? Assuming it's the same one. I'm going to say it is anyway. This dang thing. He better stay hooked this time. I'm going to give him a stern talking to about making me look bad here on camera. Thank goodness nobody's still watching at this point in the video. You'd see me miss a fish 3 times. He's a little thing. He's all wrapped up in that line too. Boy, it's another one right here that's covered in mud. I mean, just absolutely covered in it. And he's... Where? You can back over here. I want to see this. This thing... I'm going to net him here. I'm going to net him. I want you to see how this thing is hooked. He needs to get up here and splash around some more and wash that mud off of him. He's another one that's been buried in it. I want you to look how this thing's hooked. Right on top of the head. He's not hooked. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness, put that rod up. Put that rod up, y'all. This one. We're doubled. We're doubled up here. We got some fish working through, man. Oh, man. Yep. This one's smaller than the other one. You're going to have to wait your turn there, kitty. You just sit there in the rod holder and think about it. Look how this one's hooked, though. He got the hook on top of the head. Like, he didn't even get it in the mouth. It's literally on top of his head. He must have been up there by the bait and just rolled on it and rolled into the hook or something. What a dumb fish. You so dumb you couldn't even get the bait in the mouth. He's up there headbutting baits, folks. All right. Oh, look at this. Well, it's washed, most of it did wash off. You did a good job splashing around there. He was covered in mud. Let's get this one going real fast. We need to get some more baits down. We got fish working through again. Come here. Come here, fish. He's got this thing. I guess he just had his mouth open like that for the heck of it. Okay. See ya, fish. He gone. Well, it still looks pretty good, too. I'm going to just grab another shad. We'll just... we'll cut another head and chunk anyway. Let's get this net out the way. Well, get on out of here. Here. We may be taking this one with us. We can't get him to go back down. Come here. Let's see if we can... Sometimes these fish, if you kind of torpedo them down, you can get them down there without having to burp them. But sometimes it can be... If you bring them up too quick, they don't decompress. Try to torpedo him and get him down. We may end up just putting him in the cooler and taking him with us. If he comes back up. I want to get another bait down there, though, I'll tell you that. He may be a problem. He may not be able to... He may not be able to go back down. Let's get another bait cut up here and we'll see what's going on with him. We got some fish working through, man. I'm gonna do another head. Got another chunk. It is good to see at least the chunks getting eaten finally. There for a little while. What was it, the first 4 fish? We could only get the head bait eaten. Maybe in just coincidence, I don't know. You know what I need to do a second too? If y'all will bear with me for 1 second. I need a thumbnail. The lighting is terrible. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. I'll just have to use an old thumbnail, I guess, or get one tomorrow. If it's brighter and sunnier out. All right, let's get this one reset. We'll get the other one down there and we'll see what's going on. I don't see him now. Maybe he went back down. Sometimes fish struggle. You can burp them. I've seen people make like a tool out of PVC. You can burp the bigger fish anyway like that. Or you can take a needle and do it. But I normally just try to bring them up kind of slow, but sometimes you get excited, you know, or whatnot. It's unfortunate. I hate it when it happens, but usually them smaller ones like that, when you do get a smaller one that won't go back down, I'll just put them in the cooler, work them in as bait. We've gone through a few shad today. Like I said, I didn't come out here with many. So we're definitely making use of the ones we got. I was trying to say, though, before them fish kept interrupting me about Florida, like at this point, I've pretty much got it down to 3 rods, ultralight rod, a medium heavy bass, like my skipjack rod for catching bait down there, and then my shark rod. That's all I really need. Because in them canals, I like to fish, or the saltwater canals, have a little bit of everything, which are all fun to catch on the ultralight. The grunts, the snapper, the small barracuda. I mean, there's just, them saltwater canals are loaded with life. Real fun on the ultralight. The freshwater canals, they got them big bluegill down there, peacock bass, bunch of exotics. Like, I mean, if you told me I could just ultralight fish only, like I couldn't do anything else, I would still be happy down there. Like, I could still have a lot of fun. So I definitely need that rod. I need something like a skipjack rod for catching bigger baits for sharks, like jacks and you know, stuff like that, ladyfish, anything. Like there in the Everglades, there's so many different species of fish in there. But you know, a medium heavy bass rod basically for that type, and then of course the shark rod. Oh, here's that fish. He's over here beside me now. There you are, fish. Why don't you go back down? I guess we're going to use you. We might, you know, it might be interesting to drag some catfish tomorrow for part of the day, just to see if we could get him bit. I may try to torpedo him one more time. I ain't got nothing to... He don't feel tight either. Like, he don't feel like he's all distended. Why don't you go back down? Let's try it one more time. Get down there. Oh, I think he went down that time. We'll see here in a second if he comes back up. Sometimes if you can get them down just far enough, they'll be able to go all the way. Sometimes, though, it don't work out. We'll see. We'll see if he comes back up again. I thought he had gone down the last time, but then he was over here beside me on this side, so we'll see. But yeah, boy, I'm cold, y'all. I hate winter. And you're probably saying, Justin, right now you just got on a damn hoodie. Why don't you wear a jacket? And I probably should, but I hate it. I'm at a point in my life, y'all, where if it's so damn cold I gotta wear a jacket, I just ain't gonna go fishing. So now my rule is hoodie only. I don't wear jackets anymore. Plus too, if I got a big bulky jacket on and I had an accident and went overboard and had to climb back in the kayak, I'm gonna have a hard time in that jacket. Like a big coat anyway, you know. So I would rather just not. I just wear layers, hoodie, my bibs here, which these bibs, they used to be waterproof, but that's long since gone. Now when I throw the cast net, I end up getting wet. So I gotta get a new pair of those at some point. Probably wait till next winter at this point, since we ain't got but about a couple months left of cold temperatures. But yeah, I mean, for Florida, like, you know, for the type of fishing I like to do down there, I want to catch some sharks, I want to do some ultralighting, and I need something to catch bait for the sharks. Like, that's it. 3 rods, man, I'm good. And so that's one of the things that experience has helped me with as far as like whittling down the amount of gear I take. Because the first couple times down there, man, I took everything in the kitchen sink because I didn't know what I was going to need or what I was going to end up doing. But now that I'm kind of getting things, kind of figuring out like what I like to do, what I'm good at doing, and what it takes to do those things, I'm able to whittle it down. And I actually, the other day, it was a nasty weather day, I sit there at the house and made up a bunch of shark rigs. And there was another day too, during the football game, I sit there and made up a bunch of rigs. So like, I'm good on shark. I don't even have to take all that stuff with me now. Now I can just take the actual rigs and not have to take all the supplies. So I'm ready to go, man. I'm just waiting for it to be super cold here and not very windy there. And this coming week, it was supposed to be real windy down there in the Everglades this coming weekend. So hopefully at some point, definitely even in February, even if the weather's looking good here, but it's not windy, I'm still going to go because I just want to go down there and catch some sharks. Once we get into spring here, most of my trips will probably be tournament related or catfish related, you know, because that's kind of spring and summer as far as YouTube goes. I mean, that's kind of prime time for me. Like, that's when I get the views and got to make my bread. You know what I mean? Like, that's when you got to get when the getting's good as far as the views go. So that's kind of what I need to focus on in spring and summers, which, I mean, that's what I like doing anyway. So it ain't like it's a chore or anything. But I hope spring comes quick this year, buddy. I'm over the cold, just over it. I wish there was a way to put an enclosure on a kayak. It can be done. I've thought about it. I've put some time into it, coming up with ideas and mounts and stuff. But the issue you run into if you was to put on like an enclosure of some kind on a kayak is it's going to become a sail on windy days. And, you know, you could kind of pick your battles, obviously. You know most of the time if the wind's going to blow or not. Although today, I mean, I don't think it ever blew as hard today as what they said it was going to. And it even it's slacked off some now. At least I ain't getting hit with the wind as much now as what it was. It's been calm in this creek either way. But you wouldn't want to go out with a bimini top or a Even when I have the umbrella on rainy days, if the wind's blowing, man, it turns into a sail. So it's a good way to end up upside down in a kayak. But I've thought about it. I've put some serious mental energy into it, just because with an enclosure, you can keep warm. Like, I love fishing out of a kayak. I want to do it as long as I possibly can. But this time of year, I do get a bit envious of fellas with boats that have the enclosure. Because I see the social media videos, it'll be 12 degrees outside and they're in there in their boat in the enclosure with a propane heater and just warm and comfy while they wait on the fish to bite. Meanwhile, I'm sitting out here exposed to the elements, freezing my cutie patootie off. So I get a bit envious of them this time of year, but spring through fall, when it's comfortable temperatures, I would rather be in a kayak. It's just more fun. It's just so much more fun. I mean, catching fish is fun regardless, but this one right here, we'll see if he's fun or not. Let's see what kind of attitude he's got right here. This is on a chunk. This one's definitely got an attitude. He's going to run a little bit. He's just, he's going, buddy. He's going where he wants. There he goes again. Another blue. I felt him roll. Oh, did he come off? Did he just come off? He did. Sure as the world come off. Boy, I've had some bad luck today with losing fish. The only thing I can figure is they're just not fully committing to the bait. They're just probably biting half the bait and not getting the hook. Because, I mean, these thin wire hooks, like it's not like a situation where you've got a big thick wire hook that you're trying to drive through the mouth with these flimsy rods. Like, I mean, it don't take much effort, much resistance. This one right here better stay hooked. But it don't take much to get these small thin wire hooks to penetrate. So I can just only assume they're biting the bait and not the whole thing with the hook and all. I ain't seen that fish come up, so he must have went down after we torpedoed him the second time. I ain't seen him. Of course, he snuck up on me that last time when he was on this side, but I've looked around here. I don't see him. It's a small one here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to net him just so we don't lose that head bait. No more longer than I'm going to fish. I don't really want to cut another shad. I'd like to save what I got left if I can for tomorrow. Okay, fish. This is another one that's got mud all up his back. These things they've been buried down in that mud recently to still have all this on them. This is multiple fish now that we've seen this with. So they've probably been out there on the flat. Out in front of this creek, there's a deeper flat, just mud flat. That's probably where they're hunkering down at. Get that line out from around you and get on, fish. No, get on out of here. There he goes. He's trying to wrap himself up that line and take everything with him, wasn't he? But I assume that's probably where they're doing it at. And then when they come out of the mud, they work back up in this creek, find them a bite to eat, and when the weather turns, they'll be back down in. Is that rain? Boy, that rain's already coming in, folks. Am I imagining that? Let me. Oh, I hear it hitting. Dadgummit, man, we got some more fish right here. Let me just lower this bait back down here. We'll give it a few more minutes, see if this is Maybe just a little sprinkle or something moving around. We're supposed to get some rain this evening, but I thought it was going to be later in the evening. Oh, whoa, we're right here. We're right here. Something hit me. We got another one. As soon as I dropped it down. As soon as I dropped it down, man, I felt him hit it. I must have put it right in his face. That's awesome when that happens. Dropped it right on his nose. That's awesome. Come on up, you old fish. You old thing. You got caught in the act, buddy. As soon as you was on it, I was on you. Well, all right. I wish it was that fast to get a bite every time. Oh, he's about to poop too. I don't want to bring him in like that. I ain't netting you, fish, you nasty old thing. Come over here. He's got half a turd hanging out of him. Come here. Let's see what you got going on here. Let's see if I can get hold of you without bringing you in. You doo-dooing all over this place. There we go. You need to wipe your hind end, fish. You need a bidet. I guess toilet paper probably don't work down there for them because the toilet paper would disintegrate in the water. Look at that. Yeah, old nasty thing right there. You disgusting fish out here. Need to clean your butthole right there. He needs him a bidet. Well, he messed up my sinker too there. He broke the liner in it. I've had that sinker on for quite a while. These Catfish Sumo sinkers, they got this liner that runs through and protects your knot there, protects your line from getting abrasion from the lead. I really like them, but sometimes fish thrashing around and whatnot, it'll break an end of it there, and that's what happened with this. So I'll replace that sinker. And you can use them things like a normal sinker too anyway, just when the liner, if the liner breaks, just use it like a regular sinker. But I got a bunch of them there at the house. I'll just switch it out and put on a new one with that, because when I'm using the light line, I like it anyway. Like I use my 8-ounce sinkers when I'm suspending with the heavy rods. I use the ones with them liners in there, but with this light tackle stuff, it's real beneficial to have them liners. Them Catfish Sumo sinkers, all them egg sinkers from Catfish Sumo have them liners in there. And they're the same price as what you're gonna pay for the regular sinkers, so I'm like, I might as well get the ones with the liners. Yeah, I think the sprinkles have stopped. I say that, it's just a light sprinkle. I ain't gonna fish much longer anyway. Let's see what time, yeah, it's 5:10 now. Yeah. We'll get out of here in a few minutes. I want to see if we just get another fish or two working through here in the next few minutes. Since we had this little activity period. It's definitely, when we first got out here today, it took a while to get that first fish, and we've had some lulls at times too. But I feel like over like the last hour and a half has been more productive than the first hour and a half. As we've got closer to sunset here, and this weather system, this rain or whatever's coming in here this evening, as it's gotten closer, the bite seems to have gotten better. So, which, I mean, fishing close to sunset, that's oftentimes a peak feeding window. Just before sunset, hour or two after sunset, but too damn cold for me to be out here after dark tonight, buddy. I ain't doing it. I'm cold. I'm cold enough right now as it is, folks. I'm cold. hate being cold. It's my hands and my feet that's really gives me a problem. Like they get numb, and then it's just, as fun as fishing is when it's that cold, when I'm that cold. Everybody tolerates cold. Some people, man, you get the people who live in Alaska, they'd be out here in shorts and a t-shirt today. You bring somebody from South Florida up here, they'd be, golly bum, they'd be wrapped up like a Michelin man, so many layers. You know, it's all about what you're used to and just your own tolerance for the cold. But me personally, I've never liked the cold ever. The only thing good about the wintertime is you don't have to deal with jet skiers and wakeboarders. That's the only good thing about it. Look right here, we're going to get another one. Maybe. He hit it a couple times. Come on, fish, hit it fast. The rain is starting to sprinkle again. Well, I thought he was going to actually listen to me. He thought better of it. He said, that fish right there said, you ain't going to tell me what to do, Justin. I was going to bite it, but you told me to do it, so now I ain't going to. He might think about it. He's over there tugging. Come on, take it over. Let's get him. Let's get him. Let's get us one more. Let's just get him one more right here and call it a day. It's about quitting time anyway, and it's starting to sprinkle, and ending this video with a fish that's the way to do it. It don't always work out like that, but it's going to today. Now I'm gonna make a run for the car and hopefully not get drenched in the process, because the only thing worse than being cold is being cold and wet. Yeah, all right, man. We've ended up, I mean, it started slow, y'all, but for those of you that stuck with me, we've had a productive session here. I don't know how many fish total this is now, but several fish for 3 hours that we've been out here. So I'm pleased with how today's gone. I wish we could have gotten a little bit more action, you know, right from the start. I wish it had been consistently, you know, the bite been on more consistent throughout the session. But that's just when you're doing anchor fishing like this and you're dependent upon fish coming to you, it's like you're kind of on their schedule. When they come through, they come through. You're going to catch them. But when they're not, you just kind of waiting. All right, fish, well, unless this other rod goes down, you're it. Tell these people to hit the like button and subscribe one time, would you? He ain't going to tell you that. That fish right there don't give a damn if you hit the like button or subscribe. He don't care. Yep, folks, I think that's it. I'm going to get this other line reeled in. I'm going to pull the anchor, and I'm making a run to the car. Hopefully this sprinkling is all it does until I get loaded up and get the heck out of here. But hey, thanks for coming with me today. Appreciate you, man. This style of video, some of you like it, and I appreciate those of you who do. So thanks for listening to me ramble and helping me catch some fish. We'll do it again here soon.